good video. I don't think anyone's ever done a psychoanalysis on Asmongold fans in general.
I
And I'm
can't
going
wait
to
to
go touch
watch
some
this.
grass.
All right. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Stephen A. Sarch Talks for something entirely new that I have never tried before, which is React content. Everybody loves React content. You got to talk about things when people talk about you. And I don't really want to react alone because I'm bad at it. So I brought along my bestie, Kat Tenbarge. Kat is an amazing super journalist. She's written for the New York Times, Wired, Business Insider, NBC. You should subscribe to Spitfire News, which is her podcast. I mean, not podcast, her website.
Maybe a podcast at some point.
Dreams come true. Welcome to whatever is my YouTube channel, Kat.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a dream come true. I've been looking forward to this exact moment for a long time.
To finally be able to react to Hasan reacting to us.
Yeah, exactly that. And although I only really watch Hasan's streams when there's a big political event happening, my fiance watches his clips and his channel or his streams more regularly. And she said that he has mentioned you since the big stream where he watched your YouTube video, and that he has complimented your journalistic skill set and integrity as you pursue more reporting on fandoms associated with him and others.
Aw, shucks. I still don't think he can pronounce my name.
That she mentioned that as well.
Stephen A. Sarch, in case you're watching, anyone can tell him. That's fine. It's Stephen A. Sarch.
Wait, how is he saying it now?
I saw as Arch.
Right,
it's a
fair
hard
enough.
A.
Names are tough. Sometimes when
Especially
I
when
say
they're
someone's
weird.
name, I'm like, oh, I don't know how to say this. And even then, sometimes when you look it up, they're still hard.
Yes, 100%. I have struggled with many names of my own. But I thought before we reacted, I had to put a little effort into my commentary content. I can't just do it. But I have in the past been a vocal critic / analyzer of React content, where people watch the video that was made by you and then they get a lot more views for it. Is it ethical? Is it good? That's not what we're here to discuss. But I did find it absolutely fascinating. Like when I see creators look at the views that their original video got and then how many views the reactors content get, and it like dwarfs the original, I always find that super fascinating. So
Yeah.
I wanted to do that here. My original video is sitting at about 16,000 views. I got maybe like 1,000 subs off the Hasan. I want to make it clear also, please react to my content. I'm not saying React content is bad or I'm against it. I'm for, please react to my content. I need it all. That's how we grow fan bases, you know?
Yeah.
But how many views, including Hasan's main one and about 3 or 4 others, do you think videos reacting to my video got?
At least 50,000 other views.
482,000.
Okay, I was thinking like 100,000, but I didn't want to feel embarrassed if I was wrong. But
Nope.
that still would have been 1/5 of the actual view count that they got. That is bonkers. But we've been talking about this for years because back when we were both full-time regular journalists who just wrote articles, we would get people covering our content all the time, and stuff like this would happen.
Yeah, this is like why I started doing YouTube instead of writing articles.
Yeah.
Because the viewers are here. People
Yes.
want to see Hasan react to stuff.
Yeah. And it's not inherently bad. I find React content, like, as both a creator and a viewer, it's not my favorite genre of content, but I understand what people like about it. There's like a psychological draw. I think it can be more interesting sometimes than just watching the original content yourself, but it's definitely a very fascinating microcosm, or like not microcosm. It's a very fascinating internet phenomenon. And when you have someone reacting to reacting to reacting to reacting, it's absolutely like it's insane to watch.
Which we'll be doing a little bit of today.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Reactception up in here.
Yeah,
How
literally.
many, Asmongold, watching Hasan, watching me, watching a tweet.
Oh
It's
my
it, it,
lord.
it it's endless and never ending. But the middle one there is Hope, which is
Yeah.
Hasan's main upload, is the one we will be watching today. In
Woohoo!
this horrifying thumbnail created by Alex Novell. All right, are you ready to finally react to some React content?
I'm so ready.
Let's react.
I've never
I wanna
been more
watch this
ready.
Asmongold fan thing that Steven Asark did.
Asark. Asark.
Close, but not quite.
I feel like I have to record someone pronouncing my name right to like play over my animated intro.
That's funny. Yeah.
To make sure that people understand Asark.
Where he interviewed like Asmongold's fans to develop a better understanding of what their appeal is, like where it's coming from.
I've been a digital culture reporter for the past decade, studying every facet of Twitch, YouTube, and influencer culture. And I've watched Asmongold.
He's on his phone, isn't he?
Wait, let me watch him more closely.
Okay.
Let me see.
Go
Play
from
again.
a fairly small World of Warcraft guide creator into the largest
Yeah, I
political
think
creator.
he is.
It's he didn't care for the intro.
But I
understand.
can't tell for sure. Yeah, he needed something a little bit more engaging.
Absolutely. We gotta wait till the people show up.
A lot of platforms.
If I had my way, I would disenfranchise 85% of the population instantly. I would take away their right to vote.
And I wanted to know why.
Wouldn't 85% of the population also include a bunch of white guys too?
When
Maybe
it comes
not.
to the things Asmongold says, because I've watched so many of them at this point, they're never from like a sense of logic or they
Right.
make sense. He's just like going from the hip.
Yeah, of
Every
course.
single time. Like he had a tweet the other day that was like, male birds are the ones that are more attractive because males are objectively more pretty, but no homo.
Yes. Oh my god, people on Blue Sky were talking about that. And I was like, here's the thing. I don't think Asmongold, I could be wrong. I don't think he's gay. I think he's just stupid.
Yes, I agree with that assumption.
Yeah.
I think when you just, again, lock yourself in a room and kind of do this stuff for hours on end, it just kind of like rots your brain.
Exactly.
When I watch Asmongold, I just get uncomfortable.
Think about how close Kamala Harris came to winning the presidency, and then tell me that democracy is a good idea.
Things he says are so explicit and over the top that they really don't make sense to me.
Islamophobia is real, actually. It's not. It's not real. Always freak out. Always melt down. Always overreact. And never leave your opponent any breathing room, ever.
So I spent the past 6 months in.
I worked so hard to get that clip. I found that organically in the wild.
That's amazing.
It would have been easy for me to just go through the random clips that everyone has. But,
Right. No, for sure.
I'm dedicated to my art as a journalist.
You could tell you put a lot of effort into gathering these Asmongold clips. And I
mean,
think it really paid off.
One
They're
of
really
the
spectacular.
weirdest criticisms I've gotten for that video is that
Uh-huh.
it's bad faith and I'm taking Asmongold out of context.
Hilarious.
And like, as journalists, we know how to take a quote and like make it juicier. That's a thing that can happen. That is not something I had to do for the Asmongold clips.
yeah.
Like they were like this for minutes.
I'm like, what could the context possibly be that would make some of what he's saying like any different? Nothing.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. It's just
Nothing.
like a cope in some way to try to
Yeah.
make everything more problematic, which it's just, sure, I guess.
I would
investigating
disenfranchise 85% of the population.
No, he means that in because Kamala got the nomination. That's why.
Right.
That's why it's okay, because something bad happened that he thought.
figuring out why people like him. So I went directly to his viewers, a lot of whom I spoke to on X. And
Steven literally like he is a reporter. He's a real reporter. He does like culture and
Period.
I'm a real reporter, guys.
Are these so wait, what's happening on the screen right now? Did they put that onto his clip for YouTube?
Yes, those are
Interesting.
not in the video.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. That's so interesting. But
I'm also
so-
curious which ones they picked.
Yeah, how did they pick these?
They must have been my I don't know, like Beast Games. Sure, that makes sense. My Mega 64 profile.
From Complex. That's so funny.
I love it.
Yeah.
And God, I don't even remember writing the last one.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like a random news hit for Business
It's the random
Insider.
open sea. Yeah, I don't even know if I did any reporting on
Hilarious.
that one.
That's hilarious. That's like randomly on my Wikipedia page. They're like, she reported on grooming allegations against Call Me Carson. And I'm like, I don't even remember who that is. Like, I don't even know like what they're talking about. But like the weirdest stuff like becomes part of your legacy.
Yeah, I find when people try to bring in whatever random thing that they want to talk about that I wrote, I'm like, sure. If you say I wrote it, I've
Yeah.
written like 3,000 articles.
Right. Yeah. When you've written thousands of articles, as we both have, like it ceases to, you can't remember every single individual
They all just come
one.
together.
Yeah. Some of them you wrote in like 2 hours, in and out, in and out.
Dude, I found a H3H3. I wrote H3 versus Leafy is Here, the feud of the
Oh
decade
my
in
God.
2016.
That's crazy.
I
That's
was trying to find my
insane.
first H3 mention. I was like, dear God.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
So much stuff. All right, let's watch him glaze me.
Tech reporting for Rolling Stone and whatnot. So like, that's the reason why I was going to watch it.
You even agreed to Discord calls with me. What I learned is that the average Asmongold viewer is a
That's the reason he was going to watch it. You know?
Mhm.
See, Kat, we just have to make YouTube videos and then they watch them.
You're so right.
It's the future, man.
complex individual who doesn't understand why the world is the way it is, but blames DEI and women for the problems that they experience. They are full of distrust and hate, but I think there's still hope here because even in Asmongold's
He should have just ended it there. The average Asmongold doesn't understand what is going on. It's true.
there are
Well, you know, I'd like to imagine I'm a little more introspective than that.
I'm just obsessed with the way that they're editing this Twitch.
I just
stream.
noticed the same thing where they're like every
Yeah.
time he talks, they go whoop whoop.
They zoom in on him. It's so interesting.
I'm gonna have to try that in this video. I'm gonna fail at about 30 seconds. But you
It's
know.
just so highly produced, and it's fascinating to me.
Well, this one's from his official channel.
Yeah. I mean, I watched this on Twitch. I like scrolled on the Twitch 4-hour video until I found this part so that I could watch it.
I just want to zoom in on all of our faces. I like the Barbie font women though. Very, very woke.
Watching Hasan's chat gives me like palpable anxiety. I don't know how he can handle it all day. It seems so overstimulating.
I think all of them are just overstimulated all the time.
Yeah.
some
makes sense.
pieces that I agree with.
$5 or $10 million should be the amount of money that you should be looking at people that have more than that and being like, why aren't you paying more and why aren't you giving out more of your money?
So thanks for coming and welcome to my channel. This is Stephen A. Starch Talks.
It's a good take. I'm glad that Steven put that in there because that is a part of the complexity argument because he does actually have populist sentiment on both sides at times.
Billionaire says the bottom.
Oh, he put in a clip from Asmongold talking populist points.
Oh, really? This is not from your video?
This is not from my video. This was a fade away into
Interesting.
other videos.
Interesting.
I don't know if I want to watch.
Bottom half of U.S. workers. And by the way, I do think
No, I don't care. I don't care what Asmongold. I will say, when it came to trying to put in, like, I wanted to make sure this Asmongold thing wasn't a hit piece. I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna get to later one of the sources who thinks it is.
Mhm.
But I tried my hardest to try to balance Asmongold. And you know, when you kind of cover a subject, it can either be easy to make balanced coverage because there is a nuanced take on both sides, and then it can be like pulling goddamn teeth.
Oh, yeah.
It was really hard to find good qualifications for Asmongold.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he has, you know, because he grew up on food stamps and kind of broke himself, he does kind of lean towards believing in a universal basic income. But then he also, like, flag waves for all of the politicians that destroy all of those systems. So, like,
Yeah.
is it dumb or is it confusing? It's hard to tell with Aspen.
You know, and I think that really is similar to a lot of conservatives that I've spoken to. Like, they are driven by selfishness. Like, their politics is an incredibly self-centered one, and like explicitly so. But at the exact same time, it's so easy to convince them to vote against their best interests that it's like they are selfish to the point of paralysis just because a politician tells them what they want to hear. If it's directed at other people, like, they'll let them rob their own pockets.
Yeah, it's all about, like, again, for the bipartisan hatred of the woke brigade.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we're taking them down at all cost, even if they're gonna fuck us over in the end.
Exactly. They'd rather nobody have anything than someone who they don't think should have something be able to get it.
Absolutely.
Like that, right? That's very appealing to everyone, you know, that has mass appeal. I would say 80% of his commentary revolves around the other dumb shit and hatred. And also, it ultimately doesn't make any sense because he still eats Elon Musk's penis all the time.
You have somebody, I saw his tweet, 4,000 followers journalist crashing out because Asmongold fans don't want to talk. What's this? Let me pull it up. About a month or so back, I asked any Asmongold fans to meet me in the real world. What?
They have like a perception of him like he's like some sheltered hermit.
He did clean his room. I do have to say, it doesn't look like this anymore.
Damn.
But it did for a very long time.
I would love that you could do like a Where's Waldo with like, where's the barbecue? Like, where's the A&W steak sauce bottle? Like, where's the Popeyes box? Like, just like looking at the assortment of insane crap he has in his room is just fascinating. It's like an optical illusion.
It is like a hoarder's paradise.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out all of the little knickknacks and things. I was gonna buy a McDonald's Big Gulp, you know, the largest size drink for this, but you know, I'm not willing to commit that hard to the bit, unfortunately.
The thing about like how messy his room would get is like it almost feels cheap to be like his room is messy, but like what really bothers me about it, I've let trash pile up before. Once like bugs and pests get involved is where I have to draw the line. That is unsanitary. That is uninhabitable levels of like grossness.
Yeah, when it comes to Asmongold's cleanliness, it is probably one of the It was a question I made sure to ask every single source because, you know, with Hasan, his edginess and his more extreme language can be a hard sell. But for Asmongold, you literally have to get over the fact that he had a cockroach climb on himself in the middle of a live stream and didn't like end the stream.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I feel, and it feels like it's something only a man could get away with. If a woman had a cockroach crawling on her body, I just feel like she would become like internet legend. And Asmon is internet legend, but the fact that he has so many people who respect him for it is like uniquely, I feel like, male.
Yeah, no, I think it would be lolcow rather than like idea man.
Yeah.
Street preacher.
Someone who people have said they think should be like a political candidate someday.
God, yeah.
Ridiculous.
In this economy.
Ridiculous.
Like Jedi wizard that knows everything in the world, despite him not actually interacting with it.
I genuinely believe there are people here for his gaming takes, and I'm so worried that they're getting radicalized by Twitch's most powerful.
It's the Roosevelt quote. The reactionary is always willing to take a progressive attitude on any issue that is dead. The moment there's a chance it'll pass, he'll flip. Beautiful.
And least research streamer.
You ever just quote a Roosevelt from the chat?
The way that it's like it bounces from video to chat to like, I'm just like, what is going on?
It's so overstimulating.
I feel like I'm an air traffic controller.
I now understand the struggles of a reactionary commentary community member.
Yeah.
Like there's so much to balance. I'm like, when do I pause? How long do I go?
Your brain has no time to process the information.
Right? It's what's fair use? I don't know.
Let's go ahead and research. Let's look this person up and see what they've said about me.
Yeah, it would be poor research because he's not doing any research at all. He's literally just picking up a video and watching it.
So there's not even a single actual criticism that this person has for me.
When I hear Asmongold saying, you know, provocative, intense things like, I don't know, certain groups of people need to be put in a mental institution, or if he doesn't express that much.
There's so much happening on screen.
Yeah,
There's
literally.
so much happening.
I can't handle it.
Yeah. So, you know, Hasan mentioned. So for my next video, I am going to do Hasan fans, because I think they're fascinating. And Hasan mentioned, you know, on stream for people to talk to me, and I've been speaking to those. And a lot of them say that they watch him for multiple hours a day. And I'm like looking at this now, and I'm like, it's like Coco Melon, you know, Subway Surfer style TikToks.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't know where my eyes are supposed to look.
Yeah, and what's crazy is like I can't dog on anyone for watching the Subway Surfer style TikToks, because like they are visually engaging, and I do worry about the degrading quality of gray matter in my brain, because I'm like, ooh, eyes drawn every which way. But I do think that like when I try to watch Twitch streams, when I tried to watch the Ethan Hasan debate, I could only last for like literally 20 minutes. It was way too overstimulating. I think it only works if it's like one person reacting. If you start adding in people, then I can't do it anymore.
You were live reacting while I was in a movie theater. I remember texting you in hopes like, can we go to the movie? I'm like, hold on, it's the most important combination of conversations of our era. We must talk. Thank you very much.
It's a political centerpiece for sure.
Much empathy for people dying, you know, things like that.
So in that clip, he has a sip of water, realizes it's disgusting, and then has to take a sip of soda in order to tolerate the taste of water.
And it's because it's like the taste of his own mouth. Like it's his own like rotting teeth and like decaying mouth. It's so disturbing.
Yeah.
I'm not listening because I necessarily share that exact belief system as he does.
I don't have to go for trust, and I don't write hit pieces. I try to write my stories from a place of understanding. The understanding is basically saying that I'm an edgelord and I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay,
but that's
Which is true.
So he did.
You both thought the same thing.
Jinx.
I mean that's kind of like when I heard it, I was like, yeah, it is kind of true. I do think you're an edgelord who doesn't know what you're talking about, and I think that's the problem.
He said that himself. He's said just as much.
Yeah, we have the clips.
Yeah.
He do his research. You're just mad. Like that's literally just true. This is not even an ideological disagreement that I have, and I think he's being fairly favorable here in this video.
Thank you, Hasan.
Yeah.
I am trying to be favorable. Again, I try
as well, where he says that you're a complex individual, but you have openly admitted this. You literally say you don't do research. You don't have to do research. You don't have to read. All you need is game theory or a deep understanding of how human beings operate by self-interest.
Okay.
It's human psychology. It's because Asmongold knows human psychology. He doesn't need to read articles.
What's also crazy about the whole, like, it's game theory, I'm like, this is Asmongold and Elon Musk are sharing the same brain cell. Like, I truly think that Elon Musk and Asmongold are operating at roughly the same level of intelligence. I think Elon Musk might have the advantage in some technical areas, maybe not. But you look at the way Elon tweets, and he is constantly tweeting bullshit like, you don't need to read any history books, just understand game theory and you'll understand everything you need to know about humanity. Like, that is such a pseudo-intellectual Elon Musk type beat to say.
It's when people, they don't want to have their worldview questioned. They just build their world around their view. Nothing changes. It's just about like they're right and everyone else is wrong.
Yes. And you can tell that Elon, the world's richest man, and Asmongold are on the same intellectual level because they tweet at each other all the time. They're like Twitter buddies. Like, that's who Elon Musk views as a conversational partner. A man who can't even drink water because he can taste his own teeth if he does so.
You're just a hater, okay? That's all you are, Kat.
I am a hater. I'll accept it. I'll take on that label. I hate Asmongold.
I am an unbiased third party who just happens to feel that a lot of the things he says are gross, controversial, and are ruining the lives of a lot of men.
There you go. There you go.
Sure. Yeah, obviously nobody's going to engage with that. Definitely.
So, who is Zach Hoyt, known as Asmongold? Born in Austin, Texas in 1990, Asmongold grew up in relative poverty, with two parents who really struggled to get by.
Things could have been worse for me, but yeah, we were very poor. Like, she made under poverty, like, every year, basically. I grew up in a house where my mom never really had a job, and we grew up in poverty. And my dad helped me out a bit, and he made sure that the lights stayed on, but that was about it.
He was obsessed with video games from a young age. In a rare interview from 2016, he tells a story of how he was running around.
Also, very hard to find this interview.
Oh, I'm sure.
Asmongold doesn't do interviews. He talked about it in that clip I used before.
Yeah.
This is a 2016 esports piece.
Wow.
Where he's still like an almost nobody.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So his dad, did his dad like leave his mom?
I believe they were no longer together, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I know Asmon lived with his mom, so I assume so.
Yeah. It sounds like the root of his like asocial, erratic behavior is like betrayal trauma. I'm like putting on I'm not a psychologist, but I'm putting on that fake hat because it's like even the way he talked about his dad in that clip where he's like, my dad made sure the lights stayed on. Like that's not how you should be like talking about your memories of your parent. It's more like how you would talk about like if you're a ward of the state, like how your custodian would like, provide the bare bones necessities for you. So it puts some puzzle pieces together.
I think that's why I wanted to make sure to include the bio in this.
Yeah.
Because in order to understand Asmon, you really have to understand how he became the person that he was.
Yes.
You don't just pop out like that guy. You are built in a system that, that beats you into it, I guess.
That's the thing. And I think with so many of these toxic content creators, like the story behind so many viral figures is tragic and just like full of trauma. And it makes sense how they even got into this field of work where it's like a really lonely, asocial, oftentimes like career path for people. Like why a young man would decide he has no real life pursuits. What's particularly alarming is that he was like rewarded so much for not really having any like real ambitions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it worked out for him. Not sure how much for his fans.
Yeah.
With his friends pretending to be Halo Spartans, and that's where the name came from, and it just stuck. Asmongold never really wanted to do anything in life. He never really had any aspirations for anything grander than what he had.
I think the biggest indictment here is that he looks positively British in more ways than one. He's literally just British. Maybe that's why the reform.
Wait, pause. Okay, not even having anything to do with what he's saying. In the bottom left corner, when it says Jake Literal just resubbed 18 times, does that mean he just paid for 18 subs?
No. So it means that for 18 months, he has been a subscriber to Hasan. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Resubbed X18.
Gotcha.
Usually if they gift subs, I don't know how Hasan's work, but it'll usually say like gifted subs or something like that. If they are granting subs to people.
I see.
Again, when it comes to Hasan, one of the questions I keep forgetting to ask my interview subjects is how long they've been subbing.
Yeah, that's smart.
That's a good one. And how many views on what's your Twitch chat username so I could see how many posts you've done.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay, lads like this guy. They see a proper lad, a fucking Angloid, down to the fucking teeth. You're definitely banned from the UK now.
Describes his existence is just something that he did.
Yeah, I will say, wasn't this like just right after he got banned?
I thought it was before. Wait.
No, they just said you're definitely banned from the UK now is what they wrote. I think it was like right around.
That's so wild. It is so wild and bad that Hasan Piker got banned from the UK temporarily or got his visa revoked.
I think one of the weirdest parts of watching this is knowing that this man who is like, the global political scapegoat target is looking at my shit,
Right.
bringing it into the fold.
Yeah.
Because again, when as journalists, we're sort of used to our content being consumed from afar. I was never really a live stream sort of guy. I mean, me and Nicholas Diorio did a few streams back in the day. Yeah, but for the most part, I kind of tended to avoid this space, and then to kind of like, now that I need my YouTube channel to take off, I need all of these creators to, I need myself to kind of intermingle in their community. It's still one of the feelings I'm trying to get acclimated to.
Yeah. I mean, I think live streaming, which I'm also like heavily considering partaking in more, is like one of the most dystopian forms of content creation there is. And it opens up the greatest ability for you to get smeared. Because if you're like Hasan, if you're streaming for hours and hours and hours every day, you're gonna say stuff that can be clipped and look very regrettable out of context. So like, it's just par for the course, I think, if you're going to speak up against the status quo and you're going to be a live streamer, like you're going to get Amber Hearded.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what's always kept me from live streaming, is that like I just say random shit. This is not a live stream for a very specific reason.
Yeah. No, live streaming is terrifying. I've gone on live streams and like mid live stream been like, oh, I need to make sure that my fact is correct. Like, let me fact check myself. And people have used that against me. Like it is such a frightening kind of environment.
Yeah. And now we are part of it.
Yeah.
In order to get by. Video games were his main focus, and he wanted to do anything so that he didn't have to get a real job.
That was one of the reasons why I didn't have a job, is I didn't want one. Like, all I really wanted to do was collect government welfare and jerk off and play video games.
And as a
like, when people, one of the most like one of the parts that really like grinded my gears is when people try to hold Asmongold to a lofty standard.
Yeah.
When he himself admits that he doesn't hold himself to any. He's just here to jack off and play video games.
Oh my gosh, not to mention like the archetype and like the stereotype of quote like the welfare queen. There's this whole mythology that Asmongold contributes to and participates in, that like people of color and like Black women in particular are, taking advantage of taxpayers by just abusing government welfare systems. And this is obviously the philosophy that undercuts so much of what Donald Trump is doing. And it's like Asmongold is admitting that he is the type of person who would contribute nothing to society in exchange for siphoning off of other people's taxes. And simultaneously, he like advocates for fascism. And it's just like, they're such hypocrites.
Asmongold has so many videos of him reacting to people on EBT buying copious amounts of food and his audience just like eating it up.
And that, I mean, that too comes from a place of like self-hatred, because that's how he grew up.
Yeah.
He has always either relied on or expected to rely on government benefits, and he simultaneously makes content mocking and degrading people who rely on government benefits. It's like from a psychological perspective, it's just sad, and from a societal perspective, it's like actively harmful.
I mean, it's the direct problem with anti-woke content is that like fundamentally it makes no sense, because there are all these little parts that are all over the place. Like, yeah, welfare queens are bad, but also I used welfare growing up, but also video games are bad because of Black people. Like, all of these little like puzzle pieces that don't connect together, but you need them to in order for your view of the world to make sense. And it just like keeps going down from there. All right, let's look at, I believe this is 20 between 2016 and 2018, Steven. At E3, very excited to play the new Pokemon game.
Orc/nerd/gamer myself, it's something I entirely understand. I got started in journalism writing guides for League of Legends because I didn't...
That website, esportsedition.com.
Wow.
It was created by a Canadian Grubhub alternative. Canadian Groupon alternative that wanted to get into the esports world.
Love
5 cents a word.
Oh my God.
What a rate to write about video games.
That is absolutely bonkers.
Want to have to actually work. So I entirely relate to Asmongold on that point. Asmongold had a few jobs. He worked for the IRS and a few other smaller places. But his real love was World of Warcraft. It was a game that he dedicated his whole life to. He became one of the best warriors in the entire game and decided it would be a good idea to put...
Why did they put a giant Kappa face?
Right. Good question.
I am so confused. I don't think there was anything. Maybe Hasan fans will have to tell me why.
Yeah.
YouTube guides on how to be the best warrior and stuff like that. His channel
Yeah, he did. He worked for the IRS. Yes, it's true.
gained some success, but
Thank you,
not
Hasan.
too much. He was still
Fact
very
check-
niche
fact
for a
checked by
while.
real
I was making
patriots.
wow YouTube videos, and then they said you should stream, and then I started streaming. That's exactly it. It worked really well. It did. I mean, my stream popped off immediately. Like, I immediately started doing well, and so like I was like totally locked in on this. That's all I would do.
But after enough time on YouTube, he was able to make enough to survive.
Is that the reason why I dropped out? Is that I was making $1,500 a month, and I was like, okay, well, I can make a living on $1,500 a month. Why would I need more than $1,500 a month?
It wasn't until
Can I say, Hasan really isn't reacting to this.
True. Yeah. Also, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, he's just sort of looking down on his phone. You know, I would have felt a little bit better about all the tens of thousands of views he got off of my shit. But that's
No,
fine.
that's
It's
fair.
fine. I love it. I love React content. React all of my stuff.
I feel like it's tough too because he's streaming for so long that he's just like naturally like not gonna be, you know what I mean? Like he's not gonna be as engaged as one of us would be for like an hour if we were just
Yeah.
reacting for an hour at a time. Also, the line from Asmongold where he was like, $1,500 a month is all I thought I would ever need. That is the line that is a single line that has stuck with me the most from this video. I'm just like, it feels so low, but also it was, you know, inflation was different.
Mhm.
But also, I'm just like, what a crazy thing to say when you make so much money. It's this fake bootstrap thing that a lot of creators do where they're like, I don't need much to live, but I do make millions. Like that's kind of the Asmongold vibe that I get.
Well, it's like the Mr. Beast clip where he's like, you know, I'm basically cash poor. You know,
Right.
I don't
Oh
have any
my
money. It's
God.
just all in my businesses. That's how
Yes.
being rich works.
Yes. No, that made me so mad. And someone was like, he's describing tax fraud was one of the viral comments on that I saw that made me laugh. Yeah.
Feastables, baby.
Do I want to harass someone or do I want to give money to a homeless person?
I knew my Mr. Beast soundboard would come in handy.
2019 when World of Warcraft Classic came out, which took the game back to its roots of just endless grinding where you don't need to accomplish anything in your life. You just need to play World of Warcraft all day. That Asmongold really soared in viewership.
I wanna, because I've had a few commenters be like, "That's not all you do in World of Warcraft Classic." To which I say, "You are not right." I got to about level 32, level 33, which required dozens of hours of killing the same mobs over and over, doing quests where you pick up a pelt and return it to someone else, and that's all you do. It's just doing the mindless activity over and over and over. I would just like wake up, start playing, 8 hours would just disappear.
That makes sense.
Which is why I totally understand. Also, isn't this chart fucking terrifying from 2019?
Yes, it is terrifying. Also, World of Warcraft, I've never played it. It looks and sounds like Minecraft. Or not Minecraft, RuneScape. RuneScape
Yes.
is what it sounds like.
RuneScape
that's my
is
touch point.
basically like a very similar style of RPG.
Yeah. No, that adds up.
It's just, you know, more low poly and less, I don't know if you can jump in it as high.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is Ninja even on this chart?
Ninja is
Oh,
right.
I see where he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in July. He's the 5th.
And what happened to him? He went to Microsoft, right?
Yeah, he went to Mixer.
Amazon. Yeah.
He went to Mixer.
Mixer.
He took his millions, ran away, and now he just streams to kind of like a much smaller fan base. But I think that's kind of the way to do it. Is like
Yeah.
become meteorically popular and then just like gain a devoted fan base of a few thousand people that can keep you just like from being bored the rest of your time, because it's not like he needs to make the money anymore,
Right.
you know.
Oh my gosh. I saw Ninja and his wife at South by Southwest in 2022, and I went to a panel that they did, and his wife was talking about him like raising a toddler, which was the main thing I remember about Ninja, was like the whole like my wife makes me sandwiches.
Yeah,
comment.
Jessica Blevins.
My braless wife, my braless wife.
I don't play with women because that is against the rules.
I forgot about him being the Mike Pence of gaming.
Yeah, now he sells his nut milk, right? I think
Yeah.
he sells nut milk.
That sounds about right. That's crazy.
Back to another nut.
Became the main World of Warcraft streamer, and his audience ballooned in popularity.
You have a vermin problem? Hi.
A lot of people found him during this time, including
Alan Hawkswood,
a 43-year-old Australian who loved World of Warcraft.
I don't necessarily watch all his videos. I kind of dip in and out. Look, I think in a lot of the, I probably didn't watch him for the first few years. It's probably only really after he became big.
Alan, we spoke for about 40 minutes and seemed like a very lonely man. He has people he knows from work, but all of his friends are people he knows online.
I have very small friend group of true friends that I've been with for 20 plus years, but that is essentially the only friends I really have. Alan
says he lives like Asmongold, a fairly gross individual. I think, you know, he made jokes at the time about having a dead rat that would smell.
Jump scare coming.
Oh God.
But before we get to the jump scare, I kind of want to talk about how the people in this video kind of feel about the video.
Yeah. Wait, spill the
'Cause
tea.
I think that's super interesting. Alan has like he's hard to tell. I don't think he appreciated how I described his lack of friends, which I can understand.
Right.
He didn't really push back against the grossness of it all. Let's run through it all, and then I can kind of explain the rest of it.
When the sun came up, so he knew it was time to wake up.
The thing is, I used to use a dead rat as an alarm clock, actually, for my stream, because basically what happened was whenever the sun would come up, it would start cooking the corpse of the rat.
And
I'm still not sure if that's real or a meme. If I could like ask Asmongold anything inconsequential,
Yeah.
that would be the one. Like, did you really use the dead rat? That's what I want to know.
I always tell people that as like the Asmongold anecdote. I feel like it has to be real because I just don't think that it's like one of those things that's truth is stranger than fiction. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine coming up with that. I don't think he's creative enough to come up with that. It's just disgusting enough to be real.
You're not creative enough to come up with the horrible living conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
he had bits of blood smeared on his wall from his poor hygiene, and his room was relatively disgusting.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I essentially live the same way.
Oh God, this is okay. This is a little bit like confirmation bias for me, but I mean, this is literally what I have suspected all along, which is that Asmongold. Remember, I had this conversation with Felix when we were talking about the evolution of React.
Is he talking about PewDiePie by his first name? I think that's who he means by Felix.
I mean, who else is named Felix?
It's just, you know, it's that we all got. It's not parasocial, but that's quite a drop.
Yeah.
Reactionary thought and the evolution of reactionary content. At some point, it went from like contentious politics, Ben Shapiro doing debates, intellectualism, to aspirational politics with the likes of Andrew Tate, which was no longer about, you know, trying to engage in any sort of like pseudo-intellectual representation of your ideas. And the final evolution is representational politics. A lot of people like Asmongold, regardless of the fact that Asmongold's a multimillionaire, numerous business owner, right? He owns multiple businesses and makes tens of millions of dollars a year. For a lot of people, they look to Asmongold as a hero because they're like, oh my God, he made it while also being a schlub, like also being kind of disgusting. Like he lives like a depressed agoraphobic. And a lot of people in his fan base are depressed agoraphobics who look to Asmongold as like this beacon, this hero, this representation.
You know, he did react, so we should react to his reaction.
This is what I fucking hate about React content. I'm like, just press play.
Just press the button. I don't care what you have to say. I think when it comes to, I think Alan was probably the grossest of the bunch.
Interesting.
The rest of the people I interviewed did not live in squalor, or at least did not admit to living in squalor.
At least they didn't want to say it.
I don't think I don't think it's normal. I don't think Alan is normal compared to. I also want to say I don't think that my interviews are like a direct representation of every Asmongold fan.
Right.
I spoke to 4 of them.
Right.
There are millions. Like,
depressingly, there are somehow there are millions.
I think it's a good, exercise, and I don't think the findings of my research should be completely thrown aside, but I don't think it like completely summarizes everything, because Alan, is clearly someone who, he had just gotten over cancer. He was, trying. It sounded like he was trying to make his life better, but like his worldview is so toxic. Though he would disagree, and we'll get there.
I can see, 5 empty cans right now, 2 coffee.
Also, this is not Alan's room. This is
Asmongold's room.
Yeah, that was a note early in the edit that people would think this is Alan's room.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, sorry.
But there's something artistic about that. There's like an artistic purpose behind that.
I'm trying to. This was 95% edited by me with Alex Novell kind of adding in the flourishes and the beautiful thumbnail. This is I'm trying to learn kind of the visual storytelling through Asmongold's gross cups.
Bottles, there's clothes on the floor, I'm a messy person, so I don't judge him for his hygiene.
I don't take pride living in garbage or not. It's simply
he
something
kind
that
of
I don't
does,
care
though.
about.
Yeah, that was like that little clip at the end is a much newer clip.
Interesting.
Where he's like, my life is bad and I don't like to live like this. And it kind of contradicts a lot of the things he said in the past, because he seems to be proud of this is how he's living. He's like, no one can tell me what to do.
Like, it doesn't have to be pride, but the amount of times he has showcased the filth he lives in suggests that there is something like motivating him to put it on display. He's not ashamed of it. He might not be like totally prideful, but he at least has a drive to show millions of people his like pigsty of a room that like I find that he is a what's the word? He's like a narrator. He's an unreliable.
Yeah. I don't know if Asmon feels shame. I don't know if that's an emotion that he really, because in everything I've watched, he seems so boastful.
Yeah.
Even with the worst, cringiest takes possible. We'll get to that later, but Asmon has said that, he is totally fine having his worldview questioned, and I don't see that happening.
No. And I think that is symptomatic of his worldview.
Yeah.
He lives in squalor and hates immigration, which he says doesn't make him a bad person. It's because he's Australian.
What's that place with the kangaroos? They couldn't get rid of them. What's it called? Not Arizona. It's something like that. Australia.
That I also found organically and is like my favorite clip in this whole video.
It's amazing.
Oh, I forgot I put this on screen.
Things like the Great Replacement Theory / replacing the population obviously appeals a little bit more to me, because I believe it is a possibility for us, unfortunately.
But he's also pro-fascism.
I think, once again, as you said, the pro-fascism. But once again, in Australia, in certain regards, I still believe 100% we need fascism.
I like this effect.
Right? This is a pull through.
This is good.
Now, how did we arrive at this worldview from being an Asmongold watcher? That's crazy. Bogan, fucking Bogan, bro.
Yeah, The thing, Charlotte, the thing, you know, my Australian Alan was most upset with was me saying that fascism is a bad worldview.
That's what he's most upset about.
That is what he is most upset about. Like the message he started with was like, you know, do you like prison? And I was like, oh, that's never a good thing for a first message from a source.
Yeah, seriously.
And he was just like, well, you know, fascism is the only way a society works. And I was like, I like democracy.
Based on what? Based on what exactly?
Again, it doesn't really make sense.
No, the Great Replacement stuff is so bleak because I'm like, you're afraid of things that go bump in the dark. Like you're fighting ghosts, man. And also, it's just like who cares? They just invent things to be mad about. It is mind-boggling.
Yeah. He also was against the word bogan. I don't know what it means and I didn't Google it. I hope it's not a slur.
I'm gonna look it up. They put it in the YouTube video.
Okay,
Bogan,
they did.
Australian slang.
It can't be that bad from Piggly Wiggly.
It's just an unrefined or an unsophisticated person, heavily tied to working class culture and can be used as a lighthearted, self-deprecating description or as a derogatory insult.
Oh, I can totally understand why Alan did not appreciate Hasan using that word.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I can totally understand that. That's probably the thing that's made the most sense so far.
Yeah.
Hey, fucking bogan, bro.
And Asmongold was just there for him. He watched him multiple hours a day while he was working. Asmongold was just part of his life.
I am very different to a lot of normal people. His political takes, in a sense, I probably agreed with, say, 90% of them. In a sense, he became a news source.
In a world where streamers were standing in like fancy houses and...
Yeah, the fact that people are getting all of their information from these influencers is probably going to be a through line throughout this entire series.
Yeah.
It's problematic regardless of the content creator. You should never take one source as your main media diet.
No, you need to be on Blue Sky. You need to be following a plethora of...
I'm sorry, I exist on Twitter with the bigots and the terrible people. Those are my homies.
But you know what? I have empathy for people who just want one person to tell them what the hell is going on. I'm empathetic to that desire because wouldn't it just be so easy if you could just have one nasty man tell you everything you needed to know?
Yeah. I mean, you could have Rachel Maddow or you could have Asmongold.
A lesbian? No!
Not in this economy.
Being superstars, there was Asmongold sitting in his filth, talking about how he just wants to play World of Warcraft all day. The money and the fame never got to him. He's still the same disgusting gremlin that he was when he was still making just a few guides for a few $1,000s.
See, but he doesn't have to wear the I'm holier than thou veneer because
It's aesthetics. See, I clocked this. Remember, I told you, his fan base associates his nastiness with relatability and also decency. Like their brains are so rewired and so busted in many respects that they think people fall for this grift and call him an everyday man. Yeah, be Asmongold, eat beef jerky for 2 square meals, eat fast food for dinner, top it off with ice cream, fall asleep in your chair, watching anime. That's why he's popular. He's the modern everyman. Yeah.
The whole point of the video is that like these people are idolizing him because he's bad and they feel a kinship to how bad he is.
Yeah. It's everyone is 12 theory. Like that tweet really is giving everyone is 12 because it's the fantasy of a 12-year-old to eat fast food and ice cream for dinner every night and fall asleep in your gamer chair watching anime. It's also like, oh, there was a point that I was going to make, but now I don't remember what it is.
That's okay. We still have to watch Asmongold talk now.
Ugh, devastating.
Associate his horrifying hygiene habits with authenticity, when in fact, maybe it is authentically himself. Maybe he's just a nasty little pervert, right? Whatever. Okay. Who knows? To each their own. But he is unbelievably out of touch. And if you see yourself in this authentically degenerate person, then you probably are unbelievably out of touch as well. This is the problem. But
okay, that I agree with. I think with the people I spoke with, a lot of them there was a lot of othering and a lot of basically every conversation started with some form of adversarial attack. They were like angry at me from the get-go, and then I tried to kind of like dial it back from there because I was, you know, I think a lot of them had really strong opinions of Asmongold, but they were complicated feelings. You know, going from Alan, who, you know, eventually who didn't change his mind until, you know, Asmund's takes on the Iran war, to Charlet, who kind of like pulled himself out of it. A lot of these people just kind of like want to be able to just exist and rot. I think the internet has kind of allowed us as a society to just like exist in our own filth and be alone.
One of the things I said to you early on when you were working on this is that I think you're getting to the heart of the quote male loneliness crisis in a way that like the pundits who wax poetic about it are not, because you are actually speaking to men who are incredibly lonely and in crisis in some way, shape, or form, and getting to the root of why that is. And with Asmongold, like, again, I think a lot of, well, what I was going to say is this is, to me, desperation and trying to curate a sense of masculinity, which they view, like, I think that a lot of times they view masculinity as the rejection of anything that says feminine. So like cleanliness, for example, to them, that's like too feminine. So I think celebrating like collecting soda cans and fast food wrappers feels masculine. And I think a lot of that desire to preserve and enact masculinity, again, with Asmongold, I think there's a father component in it. And with some of these other guys, who knows? I don't know what their situation is with their parents, but like I wouldn't be surprised if it's similar for some people in his audience, for some men in his audience.
You know, say what you will about the manosphere, but at least it's telling people to go to the gym rather than, you know, exist in your own filth and eat beef jerky for twice a day.
Seriously.
we're all looking at the positives here. That's what we're here for.
Gotta find that silver lining.
They think, oh, he's just like me. He lives just like me. He doesn't care to generate more value. He's not greedy. He's a regular guy. He's just like me. It's like, bitch, you're not a regular guy.
Right.
How do you not understand?
We're gonna jump to him going back to the video because as you can see, a lot of people did the same.
Or online, this might actually end up reproducing more people like this, and maybe at a certain point turn this irregularity into a regularity. Does that make sense?
Because of obviously he lives in squalor, doesn't turn around and say, you know, I'm better than you.
After his 2019 explosion, Asmongold started to diversify into different spaces. He co-founded OTK with a few of his friends, and Mythic Talent, a talent agency. He started.
Wait, that sort of executive dysfunction is not the sort of thing you snap out of. If we had universal services, we would have had help and been totally different person. No, I know. But I'm saying that these guys don't even see anything at odds with that. They think this is a healthy and normal way to live. And Asmongold does have the fucking capacity. You're talking about a guy who makes like 10.
Yeah, like he could easily improve his life.
Well, and it's like some degree of what Asmongold is doing today is cosplay, because he is a multi-millionaire. He does run companies and agencies. I'm sure he doesn't put in that much like work or effort, but he is more competent as a human being than what he's portraying right now.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. It's a little bit of a facade, I think.
Oh, 100%. It's all for the meme. None of it is to be taken that seriously. And that's the fucking problem.
Yeah. And I think some of the guys in his audience have deluded themselves, just like with any type of grifter, whether it's a wellness grifter, whether it's a parenting grifter, whether it's a fitness grifter. The idea is just by watching them, like you can relate to them. Yeah. Asmongold is kind of pretending at this stage to be like the ultimate schlub. And like he's cosplaying poverty, and his audience is like, we're the same. But what they're not seeing is inside the bank account where he has $1 bajillion. They're not seeing, like, I don't think Asmongold suffers like maybe he used to suffer. You know what I mean?
No, and if he does, it's because he chooses to suffer that way.
Yes, like he's not actually a quote everyman, even if the idea of an everyman is like someone who lives in squalor.
Absolutely. He is just he's Asmongold at this point. He's god tier to these people.
And he's a rich guy. He's a rich elitist guy. Like that's who he really is.
Right? He's the tax the rich.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, a common counterpoint Asmongold likes to use, is to go after Hasan for the socialism thing. When in reality, Asmongold is probably much wealthier. I don't know. They're probably both on the same level.
I mean, I completely agree, and I wouldn't be surprised if Asmongold is wealthier because Hasan is obviously very wealthy. He also does spend his money. Like, he has an expensive house in a really expensive place, Los Angeles. He goes on international trips. Asmongold probably is like sitting on a nest egg. He's like the dragon in The Hobbit. Like, he's got all of that
Smaug.
treasure. He's Smaug. Asmongold is Smaug.
I'm gonna have to find a way to edit his face on Smaug. This is how you commentary.
Asmongold is Smaug and Hasan is Frodo.
Jesus.
$1 million a year. Again, owns 5 businesses. Like, he's not like his fan base. His fan base might not recognize that there's an issue there. Asmongold has all of the capacity to fix everything, and he just chooses not to.
That's what we just said. And really started to expand outside of just his niche and really exploded in 2022.
I lived like that for 5 years, undiagnosed and untreated neurodivergence and task paralysis. It was years of you saying exercising could build my confidence back up. That's right. That's why I try to be a better example for the people that are watching. He literally does say he's better than you if you're brown. Also, Asmon did have state help. He was on Snap. He's just insane. He's received state help and talked about how his family needed it to survive. Yeah, I know. And now he just, makes money, tens of millions of dollars every year, denying it to others.
Yeah.
During the Amber Heard trial, when all of these commentary streamers were reacting every single day to what was going on with Amber Heard because they desperately needed content and they didn't want to have to think for themselves.
Here we go. Let's do it.
Blocking him.
Oh my God.
This is my favorite
I caught the most strays out of this, even though I had the most balanced take where I was just like, I don't like either party involved here. And everybody still yells at me.
And Wonderland.
Just
Stop
wait,
us.
just
No.
wait.
What?
Just wait. Just
Okay.
wait. Just wait.
So
Just
I think
wait.
there is, dude, if you can't both sides, I don't know what to tell you. You're such a radical centrist on this.
And everybody still yells at me when virtually every content creator in the entire internet was primarily on Johnny Depp's side. And once again, the one motherfucker that was like, I don't like either of these people. I think they're both weird. Every person was like, you're the reason. And they will. Now they'll latch onto it and they'll yell at me even further. It's crazy. See, people still do it. Nah, you were wrong on that one. Sorry. Okay, Amber Heard is the victim here. Yes, Johnny Depp is bad. I don't even like Johnny.
Yay! We won! We won! Yay! Oh, this made me so happy to hear. Because he's doing this both sides bullshit, but then he does say what's important, which is that Amber Heard is the victim.
They all come around eventually.
Yeah, and I was ready to be so annoyed, but he said it, he had to be pressed into saying it, but they're not both sides bad. It's not a both sides bad issue.
Eventually, it got to the point.
Yeah. It's a straight up one person did something bad and the other person barely even did anything wrong. But we've got progress here. We've got a good moment here.
That's true. Well, let's go back to the caveman times.
Yeah, let's celebrate that.
Johnny Depp. I don't care. I have no dog in this fight.
Zenbane found Asmongold through these Amber Heard clips.
I wasn't even watching the trial. I thought the whole concept was stupid myself when I had heard that it was, people
my God,
were watching it.
pause.
But I just.
Look at all those people in the chat saying cat. Okay, never mind.
You didn't even show up yet.
I know. Wait, or did I?
No, you didn't show up in the video yet.
That's crazy.
They brought you in of their own.
That's insane.
Happened to click on it. I think it was because the thumbnail or something just kind of caught my attention. It was good clickbait, I suppose. I don't know. His reactions were funny. Watching Johnny Depp, the way they clipped him was funny.
Zenbane said his great-great-great-grandmother was a school teacher in Mexico, and she came here properly. So she's a good immigrant.
Steven?
But all these
They
bad
must have
immigrants,
cut some of it.
They're the
I think they've skipped part of the video.
That's true. Yeah, no, your part was in there. They cut you out.
Yeah, they cut me out.
They cut you out.
That's so sad. But you know what? Chat called it.
They knew it. You still get to show up in the VOD.
They had to trim this a little bit.
I know, it's so long. We're barely there.
Right.
problem. They're the ones causing our world to get worse.
She didn't come here jobless, and try to live here,
Look at that Hasan focus.
illegally. There is no illegal immigration in my family. And this might even be controversial to say, but any disparity we're going to feel throughout life, that it's going to come more so from our own people than from someone outside of our culture. So, but essentially, if we define what happens when we say that was racist, right? Someone says a bad slur, someone beats you up, or just someone prevents you from advancing in life at a job, like any of those things you're going to experience, we're going to, as Hispanics, we're going to most likely experience those more from other Hispanics than from someone who's black or white.
He described Asmongold as a street preacher.
I'm going to use Hasan again as an example. He's more like trying.
Okay, so for this part, we get to do more reactception. And Zenbane has actually made a video response to Hasan reacting to the video response. Let me full screen this, and then
I was recently featured.
I'm gonna pause this to read this a bunch, because I don't think we're gonna watch the whole thing, but
yeah.
I needed to put some of this, because oh boy, is it interesting.
I'm so excited right now.
I was recently featured in a YouTube video titled I interviewed Asmongold's biggest fans by a
Appreciate this. Appreciate this.
Not this AI generated ish.
Why did I turned into a 55-year-old man?
I'm so curious. I need to know how he prompted this to get this image. This is crazy.
I want to listen, not judge. I value honesty and integrity. Lies a goblin in human form. Also, like, if you're gonna claim that, like, I'm misquoting you or treating you in bad faith, don't use anti-Semitic tropes.
I was just about to say that. I was like, don't you think it's a little anti-Semitic for them to call you the Goblin King?
Yeah, like...
Okay, J.K. Rowling.
So, after we watch a little bit of this, I want to show a little bit of his response to this video, because it's fascinating to me.
Who goes by the first name of Steven.
I do go by the first name of Steven.
For at least 90 minutes over Discord with...
Look I'm a new guy now. I look like Post Malone.
God. That's like the Backrooms version of you.
Also, he wears a mask like V for Vendetta.
Yes, but it's red.
I am not... I just want to understand who you are. Makes sense, and I definitely won't suggest otherwise. I didn't say any of these words.
Who's the Roach King? That's Asmongold.
Asmongold is the Roach King, yes.
I don't watch him to gain information, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, he kept trying to make that point that, like, he just watches it for entertainment, but then he would just, like, repeat Asmongold's talking points. And
of course.
It didn't make any sense, but, like...
Yeah.
Interruption. Yet he chose to clip no more than 30 seconds of me speaking and fit all of it into his anti-Asmongold hit piece.
Okay. When you do an article, you can't include everything. I did speak to Zenbane for a very long time because the man loved to rant.
Mm-hmm.
When they just keep going and you're like, well, I just need the quote. And I got the quote. I'm truly sorry I only included the 30 seconds where you say your family is the good immigrants.
Well, this is a media literacy issue because people don't understand that there are multiple different types of media and journalism, and that sometimes you'll see an entire interview in like the form of a podcast or whatever, and other times, for most of journalism, you're not going to get even a fraction of the overall interview because that's just not how it works. And that's not how it possibly could work unless every video was 30 hours long and every article was a book-length article. Like, you can't include everything.
I did over 5 hours of interviews for that Asmongold video. 99% of it hit the cutting room floor. You can't use all the pieces of the buffalo in a piece like this.
Yes. And is it imperfect? Of course it's imperfect.
Yeah.
I've done documentary interviews that are 5+ hours long. And then I've watched the final documentary and I'll be in it for like 1 minute total. Like, of course it's an imperfect process. And of course there's like perspective and bias, but like that is literally just how journalism works. It doesn't make it worse journalism.
Absolutely. You're just angry at the way it got quoted.
Yeah.
I will be addressing Steven and his very cute attempt at propaganda-driven journalism later.
I can't like every single fucking time. Yeah, the little twinkle sound effects. Again,
This is
I
crazy.
I look like a different person.
This is awesome.
He's the they them patriarch of misinformation. I
Is
falls
that what
for-
he's trying to write there? The patriarch of misinformation?
Oh right, yeah, I think so. Or the patriarch.
Patriarch.
It's AI is generating it. All he has to do is write the captions. And like, here's the thing. I do not like to make fun of sources. I thank them every time for talking to me. I think it's nice. But like, he made this as a response. I'm responding to people responding.
It is just absolutely cherry on top perfection that he made this whole response video with AI.
I know. He loves AI.
It could not be
In
more
this
perfect.
video, I will be addressing Hasan's reaction to my segment in Steven's video.
Described Asmongold as a street preacher.
You know, I'm going to use Hasan as an example. He's more like trying to come across like the Pope. Everyone should listen to me. Whereas Asmongold is the wacky homeless guy on the side of the road, you know, holding the mic, holding the Bible and just screaming his interpretation of the Bible.
I think after
I like this guy going, yeah, you know who I think, like even in his worldview, I know he's trying to use that as a negative. Like he's saying, I'm the negative force here. But yeah, I think the Pope would be more knowledgeable on Catholicism than the random fucking street preacher who's, by your own words and your own estimation, the crazy one.
First of all, I said wacky, not crazy.
This is terrifying.
This was my actual claim. Hasan is trying to come across like the Pope. There's a difference between saying Hasan is annoying because he is like the Pope versus saying
Let's just take a minute to appreciate the creepy chain dungeon that
What
he
the-
AI generated.
This is crazy. This is a green. Do you think this is like a green screen?
It has to be a green screen. That
I'm
he
like,
did.
bro, take the mask off.
Oh no, he's terrified of people finding out his identity because there
Everyone
are
everyone else in this situation has got mask off.
No,
Just
he loves.
saying.
I don't know if that mask is custom made, or you know, he looked like he was trying to turn this into some form of influencerdom.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, you're on the right side of an argument when your side is the one that's wearing a red Joker-esque mask and you're standing in a CGI dungeon. That's how you show you're in the right side of the argument.
Yeah, like I don't think I need to watch him nitpick each individual thing, but I did want to point out his response to the video. This is at one of Asmongold barely did any reacting to the actual video itself.
Of course, it would be too unflattering for him to actually.
But Zenbane did go in his chat.
Oh boy.
And talk about this. I think we should watch this one. This is Asmongold's response to Zenbane saying I wrote a hit piece. I gotta change my head.
Thrilled to
on
watch
OBS
this.
for this. All right, you ready for the nonsense?
Yep.
When Steven approached me for the Asmongold's biggest fan video, he said it was a piece on Asmongold viewers, not fans, and he ignored 98% of
big
our conversation
fans.
to make
Not
a
big
negative
fans, you
spin
can't
about
read.
you and your community. He left out a lot to spin a specific narrative. We spoke for over an hour, and he clipped 20 seconds. Super dishonest journalism. I would have never guessed.
He would have never guessed. He didn't
No
watch the
way.
video.
No way.
Also,
He has nothing to
I told you
actually
that's what they
say.
do.
He has no actual.
but also
response.
not one of his biggest fans. He's done over 1,000 messages in Asmongold's chat.
Jesus.
I've checked the number. It's closer to 2,000.
You're so right. You're so right. He is totally lying about not being a huge fan. These people just lie through their teeth.
I mean, the original video was inside the mind of an Asmongold viewer, but you know, as one has to do, you got to change in the algorithm a title
Yeah.
every once in a while. But I still
Yeah.
think it fits, other
Yeah.
than our last interview. But you know, let's come back.
Also, I just have to
It
briefly
is.
note, seeing the inside of Twitter from the perspective of an ex-premium user is shocking. Super grok. Super Grok?
I'm gonna say I didn't get verified by choice. I got verified for a project because I had to reach out to sources.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Grok has that stupid thing where you can't message people if you're not verified,
yeah.
and they're verified. Like, I had to do it, and now I'm just sort
Yeah.
of stuck with the blue check mark of shame.
That's so real, though. That's so real.
Were you ever personally on welfare? Yeah, but they took me off after like a few months.
What does that have to do with this?
Yeah, you were right. Obviously, I was right. Like, I mean, the thing is that the people like him that do that stuff, like they love hate farming you. Well, they're gonna have to get used to it because I'll do the same thing to them.
But you didn't.
I do. Like, I love harassing those people. I love making it worse for them. I'll keep doing it too.
Isn't that like one of the strange, like that was the clip in this where I'm like, oh, okay. Like to him, it's about making other people's lives miserable.
Yeah.
It's not about improving. Like, he wants to make my life miserable.
Yeah.
Because I made a YouTube video that he didn't watch.
Right. No, I mean, it's vice signaling.
Yeah.
Like, these guys don't even they don't have to try to hide it anymore or disguise it. Just being openly antisocial and like aggressively awful to other people is what Asmongold viewers want to see. And this isn't a problem limited to Asmongold. This is the audience of many streamers and YouTubers today.
Yeah.
That's why I don't engage with Destiny. I don't think Destiny does that.
He's so tired. He needs a nap.
He needs another big gulp.
Yeah, what goes around comes around. Yeah. There's a lot of examples like that.
I just like... How do we react to this?
I can't imagine finding this person
You can
captivating.
do a relax stream with Nick? Maybe, I don't know. But...
There's nothing here.
I just like really... I see M-Tash would beat you up, homie. Really, he would. And
I bet he would.
He literally sounds apathetic.
Also, he had just finished asking Grok for races, stats on races.
Of course. This is what all racists do. They just sit there and ask their AI chatbot all day for statistics.
Yeah, right.
I'm in Texas then.
It's disturbing.
I'm lucky. I was in his video on the Zenbane alias. He prides himself in the objective, honest journalism, and then he pulls this stunt. Listen, like, it is so obvious what these people are. It is so obvious. Like, I want to I will promise you guys that I will never, ever, ever get tired of making things worse for them. I will never, and whenever people think that it's too much, whenever they think that you're going too far, I will say we are not even halfway done. Like, I promise I will never let you guys down.
Good Lord.
I will do.
Like, what? Like again, it's just the goal isn't to make good content or the world a better place or to even improve it. It's to make me miserable because I made a YouTube video.
Smog behavior. Also, well, okay, two things. One, I literally cannot fathom having to listen to this creature for more than 2 minutes at a time. Like, it's just boring and not interesting. And also, he's sitting here looking up statistics on single parent households, single motherhood, single fatherhood. Again, who raised him? Because his dad didn't. Like, it's just so psychologically, I think it's very easy to understand these people. They are so miserable and self-hating, and their lives are characterized by trying to displace the blame and the hatred inside of them onto other more marginalized populations. Like, you would think that they would get sick of it or just like want to do anything else, but miserable is the only word I can think to describe it. Deep, deep, deep down, very miserable people.
Yeah, that's the content, baby.
I think they also think they're cool, which also goes back to everyone is 12 theory, because when you're like 12 years old, you're like, I'm the Joker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
Joker,
literally
baby.
Their vibe. It's literally their vibe. It's like, I'm the Joker. Like, I'm in Arkham Asylum. I'm crazy.
Okay, I guess.
that's what he's doing when he's like, I'll never stop. I'll keep going. And you'll say it's too far, and I'll say I'm halfway there. Like,
Yeah.
you think you're Lex Luthor.
Yeah. I mean, they want to be the main character. That's the whole point.
Yeah. They want to be the villain. They want to be the villain.
Again, it's all being utter nonsense. But that's was Zenbane's take on the situation.
His name is even Zen Bane. he wants to be the villain.
Batman, I'm coming for you in Asmongold's church.
Literally.
So if I'm putting information into my brain, there are moments where I'm looking for entertainment. Certainly, right? I watch anime, I watch movies, I listen to comedy podcasts every now and then. But if I'm listening to something to develop a better understanding of it, I'm definitely not going to a guy that I'm going to self-describe as a crazy person. I don't see any utility in that at all.
I think that was also the hard part of kind of dealing with these people again, is that they're going to Asmongold for entertainment. A lot of them described that Asmongold was entertaining to them. He was funny. He was a jokester. They didn't take him seriously. But like when he's saying all of these vitriolic things, eventually the clown's toxicity will seep into your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it is all sort of just like fronting. Cause like again, going back to like that toxic masculinity approach to things, it's like I think they view it as feminine coded to care too deeply about things. So they're like, I don't care about Asmongold. I've just left 2,000 messages in his chat, which is like a staggering number of messages to leave in someone's chat. But I'm not a big fan or anything. How dare you call me a big fan?
Yeah, there's a direct disconnect between what we actually see and what they hope the world is.
Yeah.
I don't have time to just sit there and listen to what Asmongold has to say because I know he doesn't know anything. And I genuinely can't comprehend why people do that. Like, I'll watch Valuetainment, right? I watch bad shit. But oftentimes I watch it to derive some satisfaction out of it, just to like make fun of it, or to make content for you guys to consume, or to sometimes directly tackle the ideas that they're representing, to develop a deeper understanding of what the oppositional figures are saying and thinking. There's a utility for it, right? But in my own spare time, I'm never going to sit around and listen to like Asmongold because I know he doesn't know what the he's talking about. So I cannot comprehend why other people do this. Then why the are you watching a video about him right now, Lamau, this bozo? See, this is what I mean. This
now
is the
he's
mindset.
Pissed. Oh, now he's pissed.
Now he's pissed. But we'll get to his first point first, that like why people watch Asmongold in their free time. It's very much a parasocial relationship. It's a friendship, you know?
Yeah.
You know, not a one-sided friendship. I don't think any of them actually viewed Asmongold as their friends.
Right.
You know, they understood the disconnect. But for the most part, they need something in their lives that makes them feel, you know, like they're part of something bigger, you know, part of a community, part of something that they can kind of hang out in. Even if that community has just become so vitriolic and toxic that you have to like excuse so many different aspects of the creator in order to just justify.
Yeah, for sure.
The average Asmongold fan. I just described why I'm watching oppositional figures. Like, in the process of me describing to you why I would be watching a video like this one, which is not Asmongold, mind you. I'm watching a actual tech reporter who's a fairly smart guy do a deep dive.
I'm a fairly smart guy, guys. But, you know, I am a very smart guy. What can I say?
Dive and analysis into why Asmongold's fandom is invested in Asmongold.
In 2024, he was banned from Twitch for a brief period for describing Palestinians as
terrible people. These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture that is horrible. It kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways.
From there,
that still shocks me, is that one of the few instances of him dealing with any form of actual cancellation.
Yeah.
It was that one.
It is really interesting because it's like, with characters like Asmongold, they could be canceled 5,000 times a day over like various aspects of their speech. So it is really interesting, like what
sticks?
gets clipped, what do people see, and like what crosses that line.
Yeah.
He did apologize somewhat, saying,
I said something about it that was disgusting. I think that I've been slowly devolving into the most mean-spirited.
I like that he had like a second and a half of introspection and then quintupled down in ways that one could have previously never foreseen. Like he literally had 1 week of being like, yeah, I think this politics stuff is just making me really like a bad person. And then he was like, actually, I really enjoy the amount of love and admiration I receive from people who live in identical conditions to me all around the world.
his lines on what is fair and what isn't are really confusing. Weirdly enough, he does believe that a universal basic income is a good thing and that you should help the poor.
I think it's okay if they want to buy cookies with food stamps because, in my opinion, it's just cookies, man. Let a person have a little bit of dignity.
He thinks it's okay for people on food stamps to buy cookies because what's going through his mind right now is all the times he's used food stamps and his family has used food stamps to buy cookies. Like, it's a politics of self-centeredness. Yes, if he had not, like, I think what he was doing right there when he was sort of like pausing over his words was trying to come up with like, how do I justify why I think this is okay without making it very clear that my only rationale is because I've done it before.
Look, he's a standard caricature of a gamer, not some LA yacht streamer. Whenever he starts talking politics, though, I tune it out. This YouTuber got him. He mentioned he felt inferior by sucking at Elden Ring, which made him into a white supremacist. No, I think he was kind of there. And then he got a little taste of the clout with the Amber Heard saga, and then he just kept going.
A good thing for a content
It's a good take.
creator because those people may not have your best interest.
Well, I'm not in New York City. Obviously, I'll tell you why people might feel that way. Whether they agree or not, he doesn't sugarcoat how he feels. He's blunt and totally honest. I'll be honest myself. I hate a lot of what he says, but he still managed to get me to watch regardless.
It's hard. I don't think Asmongold has.
I'm willing to bet every single person that wrote this under that comment has deep, tremendous disdain for me. For a lot of these guys, like...
He's their Amber Heard. And he represents everything they feel they lack.
It's just like, I hate Hasan. I love Asmongold. I love Asmongold. I hate Hasan. That type of shit.
Anyone's best interest at heart other than himself. He just...
Like us? Buddy, my community despises when I cover Asmongold for more than 3.5 minutes. This is the first time I've watched a long, extensive Asmongold video. Through thick and thin, through the highs and the lows, whether people are watching or whether people are not paying attention, I'm always in here covering the day's news every single day. That's what I'm doing.
Wants to be able to like live how he wants to live. The money he makes means nothing to him.
I got a 1099 and it was like millions of dollars. I don't even know where it came from.
You probably have $6 to $8 million left after taxes.
Oh,
more than that, probably. A lot more than that.
Really?
He doesn't want to grow off of.
Oh yeah.
Was that Caleb Heron? Who was
Caleb
that?
Hammer.
Oh yeah, not Heron, Hammer. I hate that guy.
Yeah, he was on the Caleb Hammer podcast.
I hate Caleb.
Yeah, he's
Hammer, not Heron. Hammer.
Yeah. I'm not a fan either. But they were on a podcast talking, and that's the same podcast where Asmongold says that he subsists on a diet of beef jerky.
God.
He had to stop doing Chipotle because it was too salty. He would eat it every day for almost every meal.
I'm surprised he doesn't have scurvy.
Well, he drinks 7-Up.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. I'm surprised he doesn't have scurvy. Maybe he's had it in his life. I wouldn't be surprised.
Who knows? Anything's possible.
He just wants to like exist and again, not have to work. And the people who watch him, I think, feel similarly. They just want to be able to watch and not think and just hang out. So about a month after I do that tweet, I put out another tweet, which is basically my thoughts on Asmongold. I will let Asmongold read my tweet, so I don't have to.
About a month or so back, I asked any Asmongold fans to meet me in the real world. What? But none of them took me up on the offer. Instead, I got hundreds of replies and messages saying that I didn't understand them, how I should just watch the streams and not the clips. So I did, and I learned that Zach doesn't care. He'll put out a video that he doesn't understand the full context of and rant about it with extreme right-wing bias. It's vitriol for 6 hours straight. A hand-picked selection of clips designed to invoke anger without critical thinking. I genuinely believe there are people here for his gaming takes, and I'm so worried that they're getting radicalized by Twitch's most powerful and least researched streamer.
He read it on stream and was quite pissed.
This guy is like, he's randomly trying, oh, meet me in real life. Yeah, obviously, random people don't want to meet some dumbass in real life. Let's see what this guy's saying about me.
And then his
I am a dumbass. I'm willing to admit that. You know, I have no problems. I'm sorry, Asmon. I know you want to ruin my life. But you know, sometimes you just got to accept it for what it is.
Fans came after me hard. They were ready to, call me all sort of names. But out of that tweet, I managed to get conversations going with a few actual Asmongold fans. People who agreed that, hey, maybe it's a good time to kind of leave the echo chamber. Because Asmongold believes that you should stay within the echo chamber.
So the problem that I have is that whenever I want to interact with somebody, or somebody wants to interact with me, usually that's like a non-starter because I don't want to talk to anybody. What's a good time for you? Never. Never. That's the answer. Never.
Whenever Destiny or Hasan want to debate him these days.
Okay, this is where we can go tweetception.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
No.
Here is Destiny talking about me in a yeet retweet talking about the Hasan's talking about himself.
You're telling me about this for the first time. I'm so upset right now.
This is my tweetception, and then my tweet.
Wait, should I read it out loud? Let me read the Destiny one
Sure.
out loud. Okay. There needs to be an expectation that you can debate your ideas if you are a pundit who spends all day talking about them. Okay, so far so good. If you are unable to defend your ideas in a simple conversation, why should anyone take what you say seriously? Hasan knows this. That's why he always challenges who he perceives to be a weaker debate opponent. In the past, it was Ethan Klein, Willie Mack, Asmongold, and constantly avoids anyone who can adequately challenge him in a debate. Me, I would grind him into dust, and he knows this, which is why he has a nervous breakdown at even the thought that I might show up in the corner of his vision. It's a little dramatic.
I've interviewed Destiny, so being in his sphere isn't too out of the norm for me, but it's so weird to see a piece of my content appear in I got community noted.
Now this gives sexual tension to me. Now, Asmongold, I don't think is gay, but Destiny, questionable.
Well, he's pretty open about it.
He's bi, right? He's
he's pretty open about it.
Yeah, there's clearly a psychosexual thing going on with Destiny's perception of Hasan.
Absolutely.
He turns it down because the idea of having your views questioned is completely unacceptable to Asmon.
Oh yeah.
I have no obligation to do any.
And it's really funny because Destiny fans will say this about me as well, and it's like, no, I just don't want to be around Destiny. I talk to people that I disagree all the time. I do debates in public. I go outside.
I like the little clips
I
they
do
put.
debates
Yeah.
that I set up ahead of time with people like Sean Hannity, and then they escape me. I'm setting one up with Van Jones. I just don't want to fucking be anywhere near that weirdo. But I'll debate anybody else pretty much.
And there are some people.
He doesn't want to debate anybody. He doesn't want anyone to question him at all.
People that think that.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk dodged me too. So does Sean Hannity. Is fucked up.
Because I disagree with you so much, you have some kind of obligation to 1v1 me or something.
I do think if you do political commentary, I think this would be one of the laws I would enforce. You should have an obligation to have some kind of confrontational discourse. It can't just be that everybody can go run off in their own corners and construct their own realities. That's just crazy to me. I don't think it's acceptable.
Who's speaking right now?
No.
That was Destiny.
That was Destiny. Okay.
So in the tweet we looked at, it was Destiny reacting to Yeet, taking a clip from my video of Hasan reacting to Asmongold reacting to Destiny. I believe that is the chain of custody.
This is like having a conversation in the most inhuman way possible.
Yeah, well, again, it's that's the way Asmongold kind of prefers it. Asmongold chooses to kind of have that, he doesn't want to debate people. He wants to be able to respond on his own time because then they're not questioned in real time.
Yeah.
The reason debate culture is debate culture is arguably toxic because it's just two morons screaming at each other.
Right.
But Asmongold going back to his cave to grok answers to things that his community then eats up and regurgitates it in their own worlds is objectively worse.
Yeah. It's like if you never debate anyone or have a conversation with someone, you'll never lose.
Yes.
But it's also the fact that you're unwilling to even try speaks to a kind of cowardice, I would say.
Yeah.
wants to exist in this world, and he wants to be that sort of guy that doesn't have his stuff questioned. He wants to exist in the filth. Throughout all these conversations and all these tweets, what I learned is that the average Asmongold fan just wants to live in their own echo chamber. They just want to relate to a guy who they feel is like them. I don't want to make fun of these people, but the first openly said how much he loves fascism. The second one was a fourth-generation Mexican immigrant who believes that immigration is a bad thing. And the third made me a whole PowerPoint about Hasan's armpits.
Who am I? None of your business.
Black Druid, he reached out to me with extreme animosity and really was like, I'm gonna own this guy. He gave me a list of 5 rules.
Oh my God, brother. What this is, I told you. It's like there are entire circles on the internet where they just sit around and have psychosexual pathological obsessions with what they perceive I'm doing on a daily basis. It is such a strange way to fucking live. These are the great names you click, by the way. No, I know.
Before we
I would definitely say that about Black Druid. Of all the interviews of people who are still Asmongold fans, I think Black Druid took it the best. He is still talking to me and sending me very strange conspiracy theories about the Trump UFC fight. You know, he likes to send me things. You know, I think he understands that we're on different sides of the aisle, but it can at least, you know, have conversations, which is kind of how I prefer these things to go. Also, you know, I forgot about these questions. They're still so interesting.
I've had, yes, I was gonna say I've had calls with people who have done things like this, like almost to a T, and it's a really specific type of guy who is like, you know, we both get a full recording of our conversation. I get to ask you questions. You're not allowed to like ask me loaded questions. Like it's they need control. They need control. They desire it so badly, and it turns them into freaks.
Well, in a journalistic interview, objectively, you have to give up control. You know, like we're the ones who decide what gets up. That's why Zenbane was pissed because I only used 30 seconds.
Yes.
I'm very curious to see how Hasan's face is about to change when the PowerPoint shows up.
He even spoke, including I could not asking his name or any personal information, which is pretty hard for an interview because that's kind of the whole point. But once we got talking, it got even stranger.
Asmongold isn't a right-winger. He's been, as far as I've watched, going back all the way to the Dark Souls days, he's always been left-wing. If you want, I'm just going to just send a quick photo to you so you can just take a look.
I wanted the face.
Let it register more.
Oh my God, another European. Wait, what?
He won't tell me where he's from, and I'm not gonna prod.
Look, now he's looking at the
You're
PowerPoint.
just mentally ill. You're like a mentally ill Euroid chud. You need to stop. Bro, you have socialized medicine, okay? I can hear it in your fucking accent. Go to the hospital. Check into the hospital, big dog.
Jesus, man.
What the fuck are you doing? You're not even taking advantage of it. Again, if you want to argue on whether or not Asmongold is left-wing, just argue on the policies that he advances, that he advocates for. Why do you have to compare him to me? Like, this is betraying the entire project. Like, you basically give the game away. Your entire understanding of the world revolves around Twitch streamers, man. Fuck.
Had created an entire PowerPoint where he showed why Hasan is worse than Asmongold. Because Hasan had a horse growing up, and Asmon was the goated Chad who lived in squalor.
Let's just sit on that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the PowerPoint was a fascinating. Black Druid is a fascinating individual who I will never learn anything about.
Did he explain why his name is Black Druid?
No. I mean, he is I assume he's not a white guy.
Yeah.
That I know. So maybe
lots to unpack there.
He again, a fascinating individual. When he gets a better microphone, we're just gonna have a conversation. I don't even think it'll go anywhere. I'm just like he is interesting in a way.
Self-hatred is the name of the game.
I mean, that's kind of all of these guys in a way.
Yep.
You know?
Including Asmongold himself.
Yeah, but they never admit it because you can't give away the gambit.
No weakness.
Black giggled.
No weakness.
When I used the term POC.
Man.
Get that there are like POCs in media.
Sorry, can you say that again?
There are POCs in media.
POC.
That's a person of color.
I'm not sure if you know, but I'm brown myself, so I'm not really sure what you were expecting. But let's move on.
And believes that DEI
That face.
is what is killing video games, and went on a long rant about
I know for a fact that if they were to appeal to like this woke ideology, they also lose a lot of money. Like you can look at the video game, for example, Dragon Age. I would actually assume that a lot of men have felt attacked by journalists that they.
So this is a reference you definitely didn't get, but I'm going to point it out here for you. So this Cuphead clip is one of the most famous examples of a games journalist not being able to play a game. There's a guy called Dean Takahashi, who now controls VentureBeat, and he could not get through the tutorial of Cuphead, and he decided to post it to the internet.
Yeah, I can't play video games either, but I don't pretend to be a video
But
game
it's become like a meme in the community about games journalists. And I use it to show, and then later kind of show a similar game where Asmongold can't get through the tutorial.
Yes.
As a beautiful sense of poetic justice.
Well, this bit right here where he's talking about like DEI in video games, it's just like classic Gamergate, Comicsgate talking points. And it's like, of course, they love this like journalist not being able to play the video game because it goes back to the conspiracy theory underpinning this whole movement, which is that like people who aren't as authentic as you are to the thing that you love have been given like power over you somehow.
Yeah, Gamergate came up in half of the interviews.
Oh yeah.
They again, DEI is a big important point.
I mean, it's a straight shot from Gamergate to being pro Johnny Depp to supporting the Trump administration's like rhetoric around DEI.
Yep.
It's all the fucking same. It's the same thing. It's the same rhetoric underpinning all of it.
Yeah, one of the best parts about making this video is seeing the commenters kind of realizing that for themselves. There were a few people who were like, I used to watch Asmongold, but I stopped. And then this video kind of helped me understand what happened.
I love that. You're providing a real therapeutic service for people.
You know, that was the goal. And I'm going to try to do the same for Hasan Piker fans.
Love.
Well, basically their whole space of the gaming sphere, because they've catered it to the woke crowd, those lost billions. We can just talk about Conquered if the.
Yeah, that was my face I made.
He thinks he's cooking. He thinks he's literally cooking right now. He's like, well, let me tell you, the DI has destroyed the video gaming. Listen, I'm a brown uroid. I bet you are confused that a brown man could be a racist. Well, be confused no longer. That's right.
I'm glad he's having fun with it.
He cracks himself up.
There's a lot of that with streamers.
Oh, that's right. Checkmate, libetard. I bet you're scared I said such an edgy word, libetard.
This video has pushed me to my absolute limit. My YouTube recommended feed.
They cut out one of my favorite bits.
What was your favorite bit?
My favorite bit where I tell, where he's like, can we just agree that DEI is ruining video games? And I go, no. I love that bit.
It was in the OG live. It was in the OG live. So
That's
if you
true.
find that on the Twitch channel, you'll be able to find it.
God, yeah, this one's already fucking forever.
Yeah, no, it's long as fuck.
Well, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Getting there.
Has been absolutely destroyed. It is just full of Asmongold videos now. And now I see his hair and teeth whenever I close my eyes or go to sleep. DEI and woke just fill my every moment. But it hasn't all been bad. There have been a few bright spots in this production. Alan recently beat cancer and said that his opinions on Asmongold have shifted, mainly because of Asmon's takes on the Iran war.
So when you first talked to me and talking about Asmon, I'm not 100% sure where that was in general, because that was a couple of months ago. But with this latest Iran stuff, he is just following the narrative, which is America good and we're the best type thing. And I'm like,
Wait, remember, Alan literally said he's a fascist. So there's a high likelihood that he no longer f***s with Asmongold as much because he just only watches Nick Fuentes.
I don't know if Alan is kind of an older gentleman.
Yeah.
I don't know if Nick would be his cup of tea. But you know, I think they're definitely being like fed that sort of stuff, but who the hell knows?
Yeah.
Yes. Alan the Australian, I don't think he salvaged himself.
I just want to say, I love that I've been able to create a video where Hasan Piker can understand the characters that I created or that I kind of showed him. I didn't make these people; they're real people. But like, I pat myself on the back a little on that one.
You've got that documentarian juice.
I just, I think that this is where everything needs to go. Unfortunately,
Absolutely.
Maybe he has. We'll hear what he has to say. Or he could have just moved on to someone who is at least a little bit more knowledgeable about what's going on, although they are still a fascist, right? Almost
he's
jail
still
time,
fascist,
buddy.
don't you
yeah,
worry.
bro. Even whether I go to jail or not, you're still a loser, okay?
Nah.
But the reality is that you have to also look at why are people oppressed. And in some cases, there's a good reason why they're oppressed, and you should probably oppress them even more. They deserve it. And I think that Iran's a good example. Same with criminals, stuff like that.
It's like clips like that where people were like, you clipped him out of context. What context?
Literally, what context?
What context could that be better?
Nothing could make that any better, and it's so obviously true to his beliefs. Like, you don't need any more context. This is just genuinely what he believes.
Yeah, this is what he thinks. This is his thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoplifters.
I feel it's more about keeping the audience that he wants.
And I think that the moment that American bombs start dropping, the moment that American soldiers get involved, now it's no longer the Iranian Revolution. It's the regime change that was basically...
Dude, he was so... That's the other thing that also annoys me. Like, I understand why a lot of people were very mad at me and they never let it go when I was wrong about Russia will never invade Ukraine, even though my analysis, I still stand by it, was sound. And I was literally, getting my notes from Ukrainian resources on the ground who also didn't think that it was convincing enough, that it was something Vladimir Putin is crazy enough to commit to. I was wrong. Okay, I apologize. We moved on. But these guys are so consistently wrong all the time.
Fix your own country, marrying 13-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and then maybe we can talk about the Epstein files after that. Are you aware that it's legal to marry children in many states in the USA? No, I'm not aware of that. Would you like to educate me? Why don't you educate me on this topic? Ask Rock. Is child marriage legal in the USA? Yeah, so one party's still under 18. Well, how many of them have happened? How many child marriages?
Oh my God, he's such an idiot.
And yet, no one actually goes, dude, what the
They made a video on my video.
You are genuinely
Literally.
leading me astray. They're perfectly happy being wrong. They're perfectly happy living in the wrong universe. And whenever the truth contradicts what they assume is happening or what they assume is going to happen, they don't just go, where am I getting this bad information from? They just move along. I don't know how you can live like that. I don't know how you can actually consistently feed yourself bad information. Remember the amazing Asmon take that people would get bored with this Israel stuff? Yeah, he was wrong on that too. Or even like sex pestiny. Epstein is a big wrong bet kind of guy too. He just was consistently wrong on the Israel issue, and he just never let it go. He just constantly he's found himself deeper and deeper in a hole on this Israel stuff, and on numerous other occasions as well. Like, Joe Biden shouldn't drop out.
Destiny, what do you have? I think that there are two competing outlooks that we should keep in mind. We're not competing, but concurrent outlooks that we should keep in mind when we're thinking about who we want to be the Democratic nominee. For the first part, I think that it's important that we pick our strongest candidate. I hope, I'm not sure, but I hope that everybody here agrees with that we should put forward the strongest candidate who will mobilize the most votes for the Democratic Party. And
I don't know who
right
the
now,
two
for
dudes
reasons
at
we'll
the
get into,
bottom
I think that for better or
The
for
two
worse, it's
dudes
still
at the
Joe
bottom
Biden.
are scary. The one on the left looks like he's
Kamala Harris is
trying
going to
to
win, and we can
cosplay
actually
Jeffrey
cast.
Epstein.
Yes.
Scary stuff.
All beautiful vibes.
He moved away from his most lovable hobby, which was World of Warcraft, but now he's just pretty much miserable with Twitter now.
Though Charlie has stopped watching Asmongold, he's found it difficult to get rid of all of his mannerisms entirely. Asmongold was a major figure to
I
Charlie.
want to talk about Charlie because Charlie's my favorite.
Oh my God, yes.
Of all the people I interviewed in this piece, I genuinely didn't think this thing came together until I spoke to Charlie. Charlie has been he was really nervous with this video coming out, but I think really came around to it and understood what it was trying to tell. He wants to do a follow-up interview, just talk in the next few days, and I'm probably going to take it up just because I loved seeing the idea of someone who was kind of in the thick of all of this nonsense and kind of able to pick them up, because oftentimes we just hear the opposite stories of people who get deeper and deeper and deeper down the alt-right rabbit hole, the DEI rabbit hole, and they never able to pull themselves out again. And then, they're, wearing diapers on their ears because Trump's ear bled, and it's just falling. But he you know, even as like a 23-year-old was kind of able to do that. And I think it's a really uplifting story, and his response has probably been my favorite out of all of the people that I interviewed. I mean, other than Zenbane's AI fucking
Right.
monstrosity, but you know, this is close.
I think that's so interesting, and I think that that is actually, like, something that a lot of people experience, which is that when you're young and ignorant about the world and immature, but you're entering adulthood, so you're trying to, like, have, you know, build an identity, it's easy to fall down a rabbit hole and get sucked into some extremist nonsense, and I think a lot of people keep going further down that rabbit hole, but I think a lot of people also do kind of reverse course, but it's hard to talk about because you feel dumb, like talking about how you almost fell for some like alt-right bullshit. So I think that having people who are willing to like have those conversations is so important.
Yeah, I think more people kind of need to be open about the weird shit that they go to.
Yeah, and like the pipeline you almost fell down and how you avoided from falling down it.
Yeah, it's super valuable and super interesting. So
Yeah.
Charlie is my favorite.
Love.
Someone he's still struggling to move past.
He's still been kind of my disease. All that grind mentality, as of recently, became deeply diminished. It begins to like pry open your like mental state. There's just like nowhere to go except the hole you kind of dug for yourself.
I get the Asmongold appeal. It's like watching something a little bit upsetting, like a blackhead popping video. I guess. I don't understand it. I have nothing in my life that I can compare this to. Maybe I have the weird kind of autism where I'm literally obsessed.
No, I completely understand. I had to watch so much Asmongold.
Yeah.
And like my original plan for the video was gonna have like a me like watching Asmongold for 8 hours, and like I cut it down. But like the whole thing is just me being like mouth agape.
Yeah.
Just sort of like, what am I watching? This
Yeah.
is awful. Every second of this is pure cringe. Even when he plays video games. Like, one of my favorite games is Slay the Spire, and I saw he was streaming that, and I was like, perfect. I'm going to watch him play Slay the Spire too. And he was so bad at it, or just mediocre, and like, it was asking chat everything. And I was like, even the video game, I can't like tolerate him playing. I like to do my research and watch the creators I'm trying to profile. You know,
Yeah.
I've done it with Hasan, I've done it with Destiny, I've done it with literally all of these people in this orbit. But with Asmongold, it was genuinely a miserable experience.
It's mind-numbingly bad, and it just is boring, and it's like these guys are force-feeding themselves mediocrity, just like you would force-feed a goose to make foie gras. Like, they're, like, literally, like, suffocating on how, like, just boring and hateful this guy is. It's,
And
like,
the
almost
goose,
like
you know,
self-harm.
fucking huge and bloated, but it's like, at least I get to own the libs.
Yeah,
As it has
exactly.
breadcrumbs shoved down its face.
Right, exactly.
Ugh.
With like maximizing. I'm obsessed with min-maxing. Okay, I'll use a gaming term for all you gamers in the chat. Okay, where everything I do, I try to min-max. I'm trying to brain max. Racist Coco Melon. It's true.
A little bit.
I'm, you know, when I'm offline, I'm trying to friend max, or I'm trying to brain max. I'm trying to learn. There's a lot of information out there. There's so much that I don't know, so I'm trying to fill my brain with as much information as possible. So
But like, compare that thing to Asmongold being like, I want to destroy this person, and
Right.
that is my life goal.
Right.
You know, like, again, say what you will about Hasan, and I am trying to figure out what to say. But like, in that comparison, it is objectively healthier to be like, yay, I trying to make friends and be an outside person and not be on my phone as much, compared
Of
to
course.
Asmongold doing the literal opposite.
Well, you know, I think where a lot of that mindset comes from is that people who are fans of Asmongold, I suspect, do not believe that Hasan is being truthful. I think they think
Yeah.
that it's all a front. And that you see this behavior, it's like the classic bully behavior where the bully thinks that they're the victim because they think everyone else is like a total poser, but they're actually just like hating on people for living their lives. And they're drawn to Asmongold because they think the ultimate authentic expression of living is to be apathetic and disinterested and downright hateful. And
Mhm.
it's just like they've created their own island of misery and other people aren't even thinking about them.
Yeah, and you just keep consuming the content more and more and more. And when, again, people try to criticize or try to pull you out, they're like, no.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know?
Yep, it's almost like giving. It should be in the DSM-6. Being an Asmongold viewer should be in the DSM-6 as a mental health condition.
Jesus Christ.
To be a more competent commentator. I'm working out, body maxing, right? And it's strange to me that with the limited amount of time that people have in their lives, they choose to spend it watching Asmongold. I don't know.
When it comes to Charlie, he makes me feel hopeful about the future of Asmongold viewers. Because when we kind of look at what these people are going through, a lot of that.
I sympathize with this guy feeling like your streamer's leading him on. It's like how you lead us on pretending you're going to game. I literally do not even lie to you anymore. I don't even dignify you with a lie. I tell you openly that it's not happening.
I will say, I have had quite a few responses of the over 200 I've received from Hasan fans that, like, I wish he gamed still. I miss when he gamed. I didn't even know he gamed.
I didn't know he gamed either. I don't think about him as a gamer
He was playing
at all.
Legend of Zelda on the Switch back in the day. And I'm like, okay, sure.
That's
I didn't know that.
So at this point, you're just on maximum copium for thinking that it's happening.
Asmongold isn't turning these people antisocial. They already are, but he's giving them an outlet, a place where they can feel like they don't need to grow. They don't need to change. They don't need to live outside their echo chamber. They can just continue being who they are. And that's where the problem lies.
He did an hour video yesterday of one of these woke games. It was called Relooted. I watched the video. It definitely just came across as low quality content.
Listen, guys, it's a hard game. There's a lot of graphics going on here.
I definitely have noticed I soured on his content, and that's whether it was the way he was acting, where he's just playing it up. I think because of the way he was playing it up, it felt like the mask had dropped, and that was his reality. And I'm like, oh, fuck, maybe.
See, one day people will also look back at his like fake laughter and go, gross, because he can't play games. Yeah, he's really bad at gaming, and he gets.
Well, Relooted is also one, as he said, a woke game. It's a game that was made. So the premise of the game is you are a group of thieves who are stealing back artifacts from museums that were taken from, native populations.
No wonder they hate that shit.
Exactly. And I believe the main cast is all, POC.
Yeah.
So they just again, it was just and Asmongold is playing the game poorly. And, my Australian was like, I don't like that he's trying to play this game poorly to make it seem worse because it's a woke game. Like, again, there were moments of the flashlight coming on.
I think that's the downside of the grift is of course you'll have some people who will stick with you forever who don't know any better, but a lot of people are going to figure out at some point that it is a grift. They're gonna see through it eventually. They have to one up themselves constantly with bullshit.
Yeah, there's always a new grift that they have to kind of find ways and a new thing to hate, because hate works so much better on social media.
Yeah. And it's conspiracy, right? Because at the heart of the Gamergate nonsense that this all is, they're still doing Gamergate, and the idea behind it is that there's this elite cabal of wokesters turning stuff against your will into wokeness.
Yep.
And so that is a conspiracy, and they have to just everything must eventually become more and more and more conspiratorial, which is why I think their audience eventually turns against them, because eventually if you build people's worldviews entirely around conspiracy, then you will eventually become a part of that conspiracy.
Yeah, look what happened to the quartering.
Right? Yeah, you've seen it with so many I still keep up with a lot of the people who weighed in on Amber Heard and Blake Lively, and Asmongold is one of those people, but there's so many different stripes, and some of them basically, if you are not at this point an election denier, your audience, literally a lot of the people who make content about Blake Lively and Amber Heard are election deniers. And if you're not, and if you're anti-Trump, you will lose people eventually, because it's one right-wing pipeline all the way down.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Isn't it fun?
It's so fun. So fun.
This the most similar I feel to him.
He's an idiot.
Asmongold doesn't want you to improve. He doesn't want you to become less lonely and become a better person. Because if you do, you might stop watching him. I don't really think he thinks about this stuff. I think he knows in his heart of hearts that if these people start to get better and don't think that all of these like immigrants, women, DEI are the enemy, then they might try to leave. They might see Asmongold as the enemy.
It's crack, bro. It's copium. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Everything sucks in your life. You're at your lowest point in your fucking life, and you look at a guy who, you know, visually looks like he's always at the lowest point in his life, and he tells you that the reason why you're in the lowest point of your life is not because of capitalism, not because of the way the system is designed, not because of your starting point, your fucking shitty spawn point or whatever. And it actually has everything to do with the fact that there are brown people out there, scary brown people, that there are trans people out there, and that's what society cares about. They don't care about you, a white man who has been fucked over and over again, a white man who never achieved what you were destined to achieve, what you were told you were supposed to achieve in a society that's supposed to be designed around your domination. And it hits like fucking crack. Yeah, and women, of course, women. Oh, yuck, women, the biggest enemy of all, you know?
I think the person who most encapsulated that mindset was Black Druid.
Yeah.
The not white guy of the bunch.
It's really interesting.
He, like, again, a part of the conversation that couldn't have made it in was I tried after he went on that DEI rant to be like, no, I actually think video games are getting worse because of bloated venture capitalists and video games having such high budgets that there's no way for them to recoup their losses unless they become viral microtransaction machines.
Right.
And it eventually got to the point of like agree to disagree, where we ended somewhere being like all like billionaires are kind of problematic.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that, I mean, you see this in all of these different little like segments of like the Gamergate nonsense, because like video games is not my strong suit, but this is the same thing you hear from guys who hate Star Wars, where I'm like, the issue is not that Kathleen Kennedy is a woman and a woman executive at Star Wars is going to ruin this franchise. The problem is that it's Disney and they have sequel IP brain and they're not making original stories. Like the sequel trilogies do suck. It's not because of like women in POC. It's because like corporate storytelling is bullshit.
It's just simpler to blame someone else that you can understand in your own world rather than the endemic problems that exist within the medias you consume.
Yeah, I think there is and you see this even outside of alt-right conspiracy theories, like generally speaking, I think people prefer made up bullshit reasons to problems than the inconvenient truth. Like you see it all the time. You see it on the left and the right. People are drawn like hypnotically toward made up bullshit.
That's why we live in a great world.
You're being replaced. The elites in society don't care about you, which they don't. There's truth to that. And they're trying to replace you with a third world migrants. And women don't want to fuck you. And it's because of feminism, because they think they're better than you, because they want to fuck someone hotter than you. It's not crack. It is heroin. Exactly. And it dulls your senses, and you sit there and you wallow in your filth without ever assuming that you have the capacity or the power to self-improve. And that hope, every day, that hope of a better future is robbed from you. And you wallow in your self-pity, and you fall into this deep, dark space where the only thing that gives you hope in your life, not hope, but like the only thing that gives you joy in your life is reveling in the pain of others. That's how this works. Everything sucks for me, and it sucks for me because of systematic factors, but not the correct systematic factors. Systematic factors such as, you know, brown people that we're importing into society. The sense of community that you arrive at in places like Asmongold's community, in places like Sexpestany's community, are entirely designed around enemies. And they're not usually even ideological enemies.
Well, I again, just devil's advocate here. You are enemying them as well right now, Hasan.
That's true.
You know, he is like Sexpestany. It's, you know, these are my enemies. I'm like, you know, you are kind of describing your enemies. Just to, you know, be a bit fair in my reaction.
Be a little bit fair and balanced.
Yeah.
Sometimes ideological enemies, but oftentimes it's a figurehead that is a stand-in for the ideological enemy. It can be a Twitch streamer that your favorite content creator has deep envy and resentment for. Attack him. You're attacking him to do politics.
I mean, that I 100% agree with. Again, Hasan, I imagine he's talking about himself here, is definitely become the you know, we said this before, kind of like the stand-in for everything wrong in the world. You know, instead of it being DEI and women, it's the socialist streamer who shocks his dog.
Right, right. And I think, like, to your point, like, as a content creator and even with us as journalists who have to embrace being content creators, it's like you can see the meta narrative being constructed, how, like, whether you're trying to do it or not, like, we become characters and
Mhm.
people who we've been in conflict with are the other characters. So it's like the way that these worldviews are organized happens or almost like organically in these media environments. And it's like difficult, like you just like I think you have to be very self-aware and you have to be very like conscious of when your content is just becoming its own meta slop.
100%.
And I see this all the time with, again, Epstein's fan base, right? They're not normal. They spend every single waking moment like spamming clips to be like, let's go. There's actually a little bit of motion around like, Hasan is in trouble. Federal government's coming after him. Let's go. Let's slam as many clips as possible on the timeline. Let's take a little bit. Let's chip away at his, high horse, this guy, right? You didn't do anything. You didn't accomplish anything. Your life didn't get better. You just felt a sense of satisfaction because you're trying to drag others down to where you're at. And it's not going to even fucking work. With Asmongold, it's also me, but also beyond me, it's random video game journalists, right? Random transgender content creators on the internet. There's tremendous satisfaction from kicking them down a peg while they're already on the ground, Yeah. A reminder that no matter how bad things get for you, it's always going to be worse for that person in that immediate moment when you're cyberstalking them, when you're A-logging them, when you're actually trying to ruin their fucking lives. And that's it. Like, I legitimately want them to do better. I want these people to do better. I want everyone to do better. So when I talk about this stuff, it's not to like disparage these people and be like, oh, fuck you, eat shit and die. It's to genuinely be like, I hope you can snap out of it. I hope this is a moment where you think you're tapping the glass, but the glass is tapping back at you and you get scared. And then hopefully you look at the reflection and you see what you've become and you make the necessary changes in your life to get better. Like, as
I will say that the people I interviewed, other than Charlie, I do not think they snapped out of it.
Yeah.
I think they're still very much in the opinion of it all.
I think
Fascism good and DEI
right.
better.
And I think a big component of snapping out of it is that it has to come from within. Someone from afar cannot force you to change your mindset. You have to there has to be something making you want to change, something making you doubt. And that is a very personal thing.
Yeah. All right. I just cut ahead because D went on a rant and my video wasn't there.
Pansexual.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've become a better person. And thank you, sis. Hell yeah, chatter.
I feel like nowadays, nobody wants to critically think about anything. Nobody wants to have their own opinion about anything. Like, I've noticed this a lot.
Because in their real world, that's what people would tell them if they had community. A lot of these men are isolated. They lack a support system that sort of keeps them from going down these deep, dark rabbit holes. I think after COVID, a lot of people became even more isolated and unaware of what was going to happen to them. And they went down deep, dark rabbit holes, blaming all of these other issues for their problems, rather than what was actually causing them, which was their isolation, loneliness, and lack of human communication. We as people need other people in order to feel whole. Human society was born out of a need to congregate. And when that community is taken away and completely disregarded, we sort of lose our sense of identity. We lose who we are. And when someone
Did you
offers
take that
sort of
B-roll at the Natural History Museum?
No, I stole that from YouTube. I was just like, I remember there being I was originally going to use the caveman ones.
Yeah.
But I felt those have not aged very well.
Oh my God, yes. They have a big banner, which
Yeah.
I think you've seen as well at the Natural History Museum. Where we're like, this was not woke enough, actually. We're so sorry for that.
So I was like, I'm just gonna use this little Inuit tribe.
Yeah, smart.
It becomes even more important. Influencers give online individuals a community, and Asmongold is offering them a different sort of community, one that isn't more politically correct. Remember a time when you could be on Xbox and say a whole bunch of slurs?
I did not get a single comment using the that Keemstar clip, which made me very sad.
Well, rest assured, I picked up what you're putting down.
I knew I had to. People love him for LOLCAL Live. They need to know the full lore.
Gold offers you that space, and there's a Discord where you can hang out and talk your shit.
The Discord is basically a shitpost. It doesn't really have anything to do with the general Asmongold stuff. It's just like a little hangout place.
You can be exactly who you want to be, even if that person is kind of gross. You don't need to improve. You don't need to get better. You don't need to be a happier person because you.
Okay, we're gonna end the video with Asmongold.
Woohoo!
And
I'm so
then
scared, actually.
We're done.
I'm scared.
Yeah, all right.
Home all day.
Sorry. And I'm gonna go.
Good video. I don't think anyone's ever done a fucking like psychoanalysis on
Quick pause.
Asmongold
Quick
fan.
pause. Why does Asmongold raise his eyebrows so much?
Because he's
Do you think
emoting like a Muppet.
Is he like drinking so much caffeine that he can't stop twitching?
I mean, I think with a lot of streamers, they act with their faces a lot.
Like they get used to it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like it's
That makes
you have to constantly be moving and constantly be showing some form of emotion in order
Right.
to generate enough dopamine in the viewers' minds. So
God, this fucked
Asmongold is
up.
always like reminded me of kind of like an animatronic on the Fritz.
Yeah.
Where it's just
Oh
like
my God.
random things are going up and all over the place because he's trying to come up with a great gotcha.
And I'm like, I twitch or like I'm moving around constantly, but I did have only consumed caffeine in the past like 5 hours.
Yeah.
So
You're a manic pixie brought to life.
exactly.
Fans in general. So which creators fan should I look into next? Like, I feel like if he did something like this in my community,
Yeah.
I suspect.
Let me guess. It's going to be all people that are super successful, really popular, very well known, totally well adjusted, and they're going to be rich. They're going to have a full head of hair. Oh, yeah. Right? Is this
at the outcome?
Okay, I want to say that is not my goal.
No.
I am trying to find the more interesting people. I'm speaking to family men. But I'm also speaking to all parts of the Hasan sphere because, I feel like with these Asmongold interviews, these were the people who said yes.
Right.
With this new one, I have an opportunity to really dive into a lot more people and figure out on a much broader scale who watches him. With Asmongold, I did not have the opportunity because everyone in his audience hates journalists.
Right.
Considering what he said in the last clip we watched, where he wants to make my life miserable.
He poisoned the well. My question with like the Hasan fans, which I'm sure you're asking, I want to know like what do you do for a living that allows you to engage this much with Twitch, and not even in a judgmental way. There's like tons of things that come to mind. I'm just like so genuinely curious like what their day-to-day is.
So a lot of people, the people I've seen, a lot of them are work from home, where
Okay,
they
yeah,
keep
that
him
makes
on their
sense.
second monitor. And a lot of people kind of listen to him while they're doing their day-to-day jobs. So it's like a podcast that never ends.
That makes a lot of sense.
There's
That
a
makes
lot
sense.
of those.
Yeah, I think that tracks. Yeah.
Outcome would be very different, and I know that
I bet
because
it would be.
journalists have profiled my fans.
Yeah.
He seemed visibly annoyed with this video, and you watching it. Who?
I think you seem.
So what's interesting about
checked
this
out.
is journalists have reached out to my fans, like NPR and other numerous outlets have reached out to my fans at times when they're doing a profile on me.
It's crazy how he presents this, because he's presenting this as if, like, for example, he's doing, like, they're doing it as if this is some sort of objective journalistic pursuit. The guy that made this video doesn't like me. He's actively made negative posts about me and criticized me for years. This isn't a person who's coming at this from an unbiased perspective that's trying to have an honest evaluation into what I believe and who the people that follow me are. He's not doing that. He's presenting the information in a way that's favorable to his existing worldview. NPR does the
Okay. First of all, you didn't watch the video, Asmongold.
Right.
At least you didn't watch it on stream. I don't know if you watched it in your free time. I'm not one to judge. Second of all, when I do a piece of journalism, I try not to put any of my bias in the story. You do not know how I feel about Mr. Beast from reading my Rolling Stone coverage. I take that very seriously. But on YouTube, personality matters. Being able to show who you are is how you build an audience. People like Asmongold and people like Hasan because you know where they stand on things.
Yeah.
The issue with bias in this realm is when it is not explicitly stated.
Yes.
When people have opinions on things and you do not know how they feel about them.
Yeah.
With me, I literally in the intro explain all of my issues with you.
Right.
I am very upfront with how I feel about Asmongold because I think you are problematic and are causing issues for the people who watch you. And for you to kind of frame the 30 seconds of the video you didn't watch as some form of bias hit piece just confirms all of the points I made in the video. You're not doing the basic level of research. And like some point in this stream, he says, he might even say it after in this clip, that he's like, oh, I'm excited to watch this. I'm going to watch it. He put it in his watch later, so maybe it will be watched. But I also don't care too much if he does watch it. I did realize that my face was covering the entirety of that clip. So
that's okay.
Yeah, I may have to go back, but let's finish him out.
Exact same thing. And
yeah.
you can do this with anybody.
I mean, the other aspect of that where he's like, it was biased. I'm like, you don't actually want an unbiased perspective, and there's also no such thing.
Yeah.
What he wants is someone to glaze him. Like, he'll only accept commentary on himself if it's glazing, because the most unbiased form of commentary there is still paints him in a negative light. Because no one who is sane or well-adjusted would look at Asmongold's notable moments and have any other reaction other than like disgust. So what he really wants is a sycophant, not an unbiased perspective, which, as we know, is not even actually a real thing.
Yeah, but everyone's biased. Like, if I saw that as a comment a lot. Like, you're just a biased journalist, which now I know where all of those came from.
Yeah.
Everyone's biased.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are or what content you're consuming. We all have biases.
Exactly.
It's just about balancing those biases and making sure that either they're incredibly obvious, so you know what to take, what to understand about them, or to make sure that they don't impact them in the slightest.
Absolutely.
And each of those are two very different styles of content.
Yep.
Doing that, he's presenting the information in a way that's favorable to his existing worldview. NPR does the exact same thing, and you can do this with anybody. I'm sure you can find really well-adjusted Hasan fans, and you can find really badly adjusted Asmongold fans, and vice versa. You can easily do that, and whenever...
If you are a well-adjusted Asmongold fan who didn't... Like, I got a few comments where they're like, I have 2 kids and a family. Why don't you interview me? Because you fucking suck. And I'm like, just because you have a family doesn't mean you're well-adjusted, buddy.
Right. Right.
But, again, this idea that, even NPR is biased. Everyone is biases. It's just, that's the fucking world, buddy.
Asmongold has biases.
And they're very obvious.
You're just doing random samples of people, all you need to do is roll the dice enough times and you're going to find both. So really, I don't even, how can you even use this as an argument? It's so obvious that this is what happens. I don't know why somebody would even advocate for this. It's so dishonest.
And
the video is dishonest. Like,
right.
I'm not framing, like, the video itself is not framed as, like, these are all of Asmongold fans and they're all, like, the worst ever. The title of it is literally just pinpointing a few. Again, it's, like, such a bad faith argument over the content he didn't consume.
Yeah.
But, that's why we have fun.
They've had them featured in the reporting, and it's a very different vibe.
It's a very
What do
different
I hear
vibe,
all the time when I go outside? When I go to protests, when I go to, when I go canvas or do campaign events and things like that, people.
You know what I hear? Whenever I go to events, I hear the guy from the building that owns the building is like, I like you a lot. I totally agree with you. All of the people in leadership agree with you. But no, it's okay. Hasan has all the dregs of society, all of the bottom feeders, all of the cockroaches, which is ironic, right? I mean, you would think this would be the opposite. But
he's so close to getting it.
What the fuck is he talking about?
He's so close to understanding that his audience is what he's describing. Also, I have not seen Asmongold go to an event in years.
Right, I was gonna say, like, this whole thing is, like, fantastic.
He was invited to the Mr. Beast Twitch one, and he turned it down.
Of course he was invited to the Mr. Beast event.
Yeah, come on. Jimmy loves that shit.
Also, the way he responds to Hasan is really weird. Like, he just goes, yup, yup, yup. Like, it's like, reminds me of like a child, how a child would engage in like an argument or try to like own somebody.
He is owning Hasan right now. We're
Right.
so owned watching this.
He's so
But it's
owned.
not. Like, those guys are the ones that say, well, we really like you. They do. They think I'm great.
Come up to me and they say, man, you changed my life. I wouldn't be out here doing activism if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't be door knocking if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't be at this protest if it wasn't for you. Things of that nature.
Take a sip, buddy.
And that's exactly the change that I want to see in the world. That's exactly what I want my output to look like.
Good.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Great.
I don't want to lead you down a pit of despair, to be sad, lonely, and angry.
Wait a minute. All the people that are going out there doing the door knocking, they're probably sad, lonely, and despairing. Like, again, why do you think you have a plus 30% favorability with people that live with their parents, but a 0% with people that have kids? Why is that? Because this is an
0%.
ideology for children. This is a child's ideology that only makes sense inside of a myopic, selfish, narcissistic, completely parasitic worldview that views any form of authority as evil. That's the reason.
But like, buddy, you're describing your fans.
Well, he's also describing himself, and it's also ironic going back to that PowerPoint that Asmongold fan made you, where he tried to act like they have the exact same politics, just Hasan supports terrorists and Asmongold doesn't. And I'm like, Asmongold is literally sitting here like basically undermining socialism by being like, it's just handouts. It's just handouts. When literally Asmongold has accepted many a handout. Hasan has not. I don't think it had to rely on any sort of government.
No, he was
services or
too. He had a
benefits.
horse boy. He was a horse boy.
Like it's a really weird inverse of what the reality is.
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of Asmongold's worldview on all of this, is that it's all kind of warped and all kind of weird.
Of course.
Why? Because nobody that actually knows how the world works thinks that this is sustainable at all. That's the reason why. Negative 19%. Excuse me.
All the fucking time. I want you to be angry at the right things and use that anger and resentment for designing a more
So he wants you to get mad.
productive future for yourself and others. Right? That's why I always urge you to touch grass, urge you to be normal, urge you to go out and fucking organize in your communities, organize labor unions in your workplace, join the DSA, go out
Join the
and
Democratic Socialists of America. Wow, why don't they just join Hamas? How about that?
And on that note, we are done.
My God. My God.
What did we learn today?
I learned a lot. I feel. I think I have a much better grasp. Unfortunately, I feel I have a much better grasp on Asmongold than ever before. Like I hate to know him deeper, but I do.
I think like when the video was first posted and I tried to get it out to people and it had the title Inside the Mind of an Asmongold Viewer, there were so many comments from people being like, absolutely not. I don't want to be in that mind.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't want to have to embrace this side of things. I'm a freak because I enjoy figuring out how these people work. But the average person wants to avoid it like the plague. So kind of being able to understand this Muppet of a human being and how his audience members just kind of, take it in for what it is, Look at the comments of what people were saying afterwards. They reiterated the things he said, that it's biased, that it's a hit piece, that I, misquoted that one guy who made the AI face of me. It's all bad faith. It's all confusing, and boy is reacting tiring.
It is tiring. I'm reading some of the top comments on your video though. I like my favorite one is the one that says me and my roaches are kicking our feet right now.
Gotta love the roaches.
Gotta love the roaches.
Do you plug? Do I tell you if you want to plug or something?
Yeah, I'll plug for those who have sat through this entire reaction. you clearly would love more content. But no, thank you if you are watching this. And I am found at spitfirenews.com. That is my newsletter where I cover all things politics, culture, and entertainment. And you can also follow along with my takes at Blue Sky, Kat Tenbarge, and on Instagram at Kat Tenbarge.
Well, thank you so much for joining me through this fucking marathon.
Thank you for having me. This was such a delight.
I wouldn't use that word, but it was certainly an experience. All right. Thank you, and bye, guys. And